Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. All right, y'all, what's going on? Realizing one has hit the iceberg. Oh man. Okay, so hopefully you guys have checked out the links in the description box. Hopefully I gave you guys enough time. Um, and so I have three links. One is from Instagram, two are from YouTube. The last one is Fox News covering a white woman regretting feminism. Right, and oh man, there's so much videos on that, like, women, namely white women, regretting feminism and what it sold them. Um, and I don't know how true that is. I think much of I'll get to that. Let me mull that over a little bit longer so I could get my words right for how I'm going to describe that. But definitely the first two clips of the two black women. One is what, 27, about to be 28, something like that. The other one is 36. Miss Rabia, I think she said her name was. Yeah. So Miss Rabia is kind of cute. The other sister's all right. The one on here from Instagram. So you have one that's under the age of 30. You have one that's under the age of 40. And for the white woman that's on Fox News, she looks like she's somewhere in her 40s, maybe early 50, but somewhere in that 40s, somewhere before mid 50s, we'll say. So a decade plus between each one of them, right? So young lady's 27 and some change. The other lady is 36, so 9 years, about a decade. And then the other young lady, or was the young lady on Instagram 28, 27, 28. Okay, cool. The other young lady's 36, so approaching the decade. The white woman looks like she's somewhere late 40s, maybe somewhere early 50s. So you got a decade, right? And look at that. So you have three women coming to the realization that they hit the iceberg. Now I looked at and I watched a bit more of Miss Rabia's content, and there's a part that ego, that pride is still there. And young lady, I'm not telling you to strip yourself of your pride, and your ego, unlike those black women, on those churchy black women, right? What I will say is that pride is gonna hurt, man. That pride's gonna hurt you. This sh- super strong. I don't necessarily need a man. I kind of want one. I want a companion, but I'm not gonna stress myself out too much for it. Right now, let me get into that. Miss Rabia says that it is out of her control whether she's in a relationship or not. Ma'am, nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. See, you know well enough to move around, and Miss Rabia speaks about having the type of gym membership where she could move around, right? So she could go to different type of gyms and have that membership honored. Okay, cool. And you're saying, you pretty much go to only two, so you maybe want to expand that out. So if you know well enough to start to move around and make yourself more available in different spaces, that may increase your chance of meeting someone. Then you do understand that much of this is in your control. You say you're pretty much hyper focused on your career. Ma'am, once again, maybe being under a man you might want that to take precedent. Ma'am, it is in your control whether you end up with someone or not. Now, Miss Rabia doesn't come off insufferable. She doesn't necessarily come off antagonistic or aggressive, right? Ma'am, that's a plus. That's a good thing. But you try to hold on to this kind of egoistic thing where it's like, I, okay, so I'm okay with being single, but kind of not. No, ma'am. No. Nope. Exactly, Trail. Exactly what Skip Coons told me. Move around, right? And yes, Vince, your clip didn't make the cut. Your clip didn't make the cut, right? So once again, the ego, I don't want to let that go. I don't want to admit that I'm lonely. I think Miss Rabia did say that she's alone, but she's not lonely. Something along those lines, if I'm not mistaken. So if y'all check the clips once again, the clips are in the description, videos are in the description box. You will see the clip from Titanic when they realize that the ship is taking on water and there is no saving the ship. When they realize the Titanic is taking on water and there is no saving the Titanic. And if you notice, the designer of the Titanic says this is a mathematical certainty. The Titanic will founder, it will sink, essentially. This is a mathematical certainty. I assure you, sir, it is made out of iron. Dear ladies, prioritizing everything before man in a relationship, there's fine. You live in a world that says that that is okay. Go after your career, go after your education, go after everything, and a man will hitch his wagon to your cart, right? He will hitch his wagon to your train, right? You don't have to change anything about yourself. You're perfect the way you are. And there will be a man that wants to get down with your program and he'll hitch his wagon to your program, right? So, nothing wrong with that. But as the clip from Titanic shows, you will sink. To Miss Rabia, according to the St. Louis Federal Reserve, Black Enterprise Institute covered this. Single Latina and single Black women have the least amount of wealth in America, ma'am. The least amount of wealth in America. So maybe you are doing well. There's a number, and I keep on saying this, and I don't mean to be offensive to Miss Rabia because she wasn't, necessarily offensive. She wasn't aggressive. She wasn't coarse or any of that, right? But there's so many of these like outlier Black women who earn good ass money, right? Or they earn like decent enough to be able to sustain themselves. And you have all of these outlier Black women who's doing way too much talking, especially when concerning like relationships, intimacy, dating, right? Childbearing, child rearing, like everyone from Yanni to Chrissy to Miss Leona Worldwide. Yes, you too, Miss Rabia, but you weren't. And I don't know how much I am about telling these women to shut up because I actually want them to keep on talking. But I will say these women in their advice, in the way they give their advice, is absolutely horrendous because I don't know how much they factor in how much they're outliers and how much the average woman writ large, particularly the average Black woman, just cannot afford what these women push here. And that ego will get your average woman, your average Black woman, all type of messed up, right? All type of messed up. They don't earn enough for what y'all are pushing. That ego, that strong and independent. I don't need a man. I barely want one. Your average woman cannot afford that. Particularly your average Black woman. I rewatched the news clip from South Korea with the South Korean women that were single, and yeah, like I thought before, within the first 3 or so minutes, maybe 4 minutes, they were stressing like the South Korean government doesn't know what it's gonna do. Like the Social Security ain't built for this. The South Korean Social Security is not built for retired florists who barely made $40,000 in their life a year. Miss Rabia, that's the world we're living in. So once again, you can financially afford it. Miss Leona Worldwide, Real Talk with Yanni, Chrissy, right? But the vast majority of women, particularly black women, cannot. As y'all saw with the young lady off of the Instagram clip, she said she don't even have the C in career yet. Now, if you listen to these women talk, all of them speak of they thought by a certain age they would have been married with children by now. By a certain age, they would have been married with children. Even the what 27, 28-year old says that. Huh? But how is that supposed to work when you never cared to invest in a relationship, particularly invest in a relationship with one man? You never cared to. And if you are in a quote unquote situationship slash relationship, it's like whatever. Yeah, he's just we're just having fun. You know, when I need my itch scratched, we're just having fun. You're not investing. Also, Miss Rabia goes on to speak about, and she kind of touches this, and she mentions this, and then she lets it go. Let me don't even tell myself, giggity. She mentions this, and then she lets it go, which is her mother had 5 daughters. 5 daughters. Wait for it, y'all. Wait for it. Wait for it. And all 5 of them are single with no children. Now, assuming that these are her sisters, obviously, and they look similar to her, Miss Rabia is cute. She's cute. Cute chocolate, right? Assuming that her sisters look like her, so you have 5 black women who are attractive enough, all from the same mother, and none of them have a man or children. None of them have a man and children. Oh, huh? 5 women. So let me get this right. Your mother had 5 daughters. Your mother had 5 kids, and 5 of you, none of you have a kid. I told y'all before. Yes, the hood sister might have 3 or 4 kids, but she has a girl cousin. She has a sister that is well into her 30s or 40s with no children. That is why the birth rate is going down, everyone, particularly, well, even in the black community. So for every Keisha you see, and I'm not saying they're not having adult fun, I'm not saying they're not engaging in that, although some of them aren't, but for every Keisha you see with 3, 4 kids from 3, 4 different men, is another one throwing a temper tantrum and being celibate because the world won't bend to her will, and then another one who is not in a relationship, hasn't been in a relationship for 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years, and has no children. Huh? Don't forget, yes, we know of the women on Kendra G's show that, yeah, they haven't been in a relationship in 7, 8 years, but they just got the cobwebs knocked out 3 nights ago, right? 5 days ago, 2 weeks ago, a minute ago, right? But emphasis on the haven't been in a relationship in 7, 8 years, 5 years, 6 years, 4 years. Huh? Ms. Rabia said it herself, she hadn't been in a relationship in a while. The other young lady on Instagram is 27, 28, says she don't got no man, she don't got no kids, and she don't even have the C in a career yet. She don't have the C in career yet. The white woman that Fox News covered told you she feel like feminism lied to her. You can have all of it, and you can have all of it at the same time. Huh? I played the Titanic clip once again when y'all seen the guy said, but this ship can't sink. And that's Chrissy, everyone. But this ship can't sink. We'll just date out. Huh? That's Chrissy, everyone. This ship can't sink. Huh? Or I'm saying that wrong. That's Yanni. This ship can't sink. And Chrissy's like, what about the pumps? Well, we'll just date out. And here we are in the black manosphere. This ship is made out of steel. It's made out of iron. Huh? I assure you, it can. It's a mathematical certainty. Huh? I assure you, it can, and it will. And the birth rate is going where, everyone? In the dumps. Huh? Birth rate going to the dumps. Marriage rate going to the dumps. Women, it's mainly you that turned marriage into a luxury item. It's not the men. It's the women that saying economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. Literally, I mean, like, it's the women. The article that was written was giving the perspective of women. Right? Women writ large, not just black women. It's a mathematical certainty. Then you wonder why the US government is allowing for immigrants to come in, illegal immigrants. It's a mathematical certainty. The ship will sink. Dear black community, you're raising too many insufferable a-hole daughters, entitled brats. It's a mathematical certainty. The black community will sink. It's already sinking. Thank you, from Africa I came. Turned marriage into a social class good. It will sink. And then here's the kicker, everyone. And then when the men are like, well, fine, I'll be a passport bro, or I will be a minimalist. I will live just enough for my needs and the wants that are achievable without too much stress. Then the whole society is like, no, you can't do that. We need you to overproduce. Isn't that right, Dr. Richard Reeves? Huh? Notice something. I chose 3 clips where the women weren't being particularly aggressive or antagonistic to men, because I wanted to stress this. Yeah, even they're feeling it because you didn't prioritize men. You didn't prioritize one man. You did and it didn't work, and then you threw a temper tantrum and well, I'm gonna just be single and worry about me and myself and my career. Well, there's a cost to that. All these risk averse ass women, one heartbreak and they go licking their wounds. Ooh, there's a pun in there. Licking their wounds for 7 years. Huh? I also wanted to emphasize that we've said this here in the Black Manosphere. We've said it. Men have said it. But women writ large, black women specifically, are so obsessed. This is why I continue to emphasize this. So obsessed with the empowerment language and the Disney fairy tale ending and the positive stories and the feel good stories. They're so obsessed with it that they actually end up getting in their own way because they don't have a sense of urgency. The sense of urgency is when they fully feel like the door slammed in their face. And even then, you get the Tracy Ellis Rosses who kind of joke about it, and you can see she's in some pain. She jokes about, and you know what? I actually should have put that clip of the interview with her speaking about how it feels like her eggs are, on a fire cell. Everything must go, right? But even with that, she's joking about it because she doesn't really want to have to, at least not on camera, deal with how sad she is about, that I still might be able to end up in a relationship, but the any chance of me having a biological child, the natural way at least, it's over. right? The sobering reality that that day is over. So Diana Ross had how many kids? 4 or 5, something like that. And Tracy Ellis Ross, who is the most famous among them, 0. Career that we know of, huh? Been in some television shows that we know of. As I said, the most famous of Diana Ross's daughters or children writ large. And yet, right. So there's a cost. I want to emphasize this. There is a cost. It is a mathematical certainty. That is why you have the birth rate in America at 1.6 or some odd. And the birth rate in the black community at what, 1.7, 1.8? That's not enough for replacement. Huh. That's not enough for replacement, everyone. I don't have to necessarily be my usual Z and being loud today, and being right, animated, right? No need. That is not the energy that we were hit with in either one of these clips, either one of the videos in my description box. The message is still the same though. The women have bought into the narrative that they are strong and independent and they don't need a man. A man is a luxury. Marriage is a luxury. And so they can put the bar to the moon because a man is an add-on. A relationship, an intimate relationship with a heterosexual man is an add-on. And so you can turn it into a luxury item, a Louis Vuitton bag, right? That's what it is. Some rims for your car. That's what it is. That's what a heterosexual man, intimate relationship in marriage is now, right? It is the GLS Maybach, huh? And there's a cost to that. And the women are living the cost of that. Yes, even the ones that are more quote unquote pliant. Shout out to Dr. Sabrina Springs. Huh? Even the ones that are more quote unquote pliant. There is a cost to telling women that men are a luxury item. And that way, right, you don't quote unquote settle for one. You don't just settle for anyone. You put the bar to the moon. He has to overqualify and overproduce. Okay, fine, ladies. And if you find yourself in your later 20s still single, your mid 30s still single, your late 40s, early 50s, no children, still single, well, those same people, namely women and elite rich white men, who told you to turn relationships and intimacy into a luxury good, where will they be when you're over here crying yourself to sleep at night? Huh? Where will Gary Marsh, I think it was the CFO of Disney, that admitted that they sold women and girls, better yet, lifestyle branding. This is why you have these hyper materialistic, consumerist ass women that are in their about 40-ish and younger X. Let's just put younger Xers and younger, millennials and Gen Z, and now Generation Alpha coming up. Huh? Mr. Gary Marsh admitted it. And so it wasn't just selling. And remember, lifestyle branding. It's not just about the Hello Kitty binder or folder. No. Right? Shout out to all my JanSport heads. It's not just about the JanSport book bag or the North Face jacket. No. Huh? even lifestyle. So the home you live in and where it is, the man you have and what he does. How much does he earn? No, it can't be just stable. It got to be elite. Look, you got to be able to brag about it, right? There's a cost to that. There's a mathematical certainty, right? Mathematical certainty. Y'all saw that clip from the Titanic? It is made of iron, sir. Right? I assure you, it can and it will. It will sink. It will. The Titanic will founder. Huh? This ship can't sink. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Huh? This ship can't sink. Yeah. All right. And you heard Miss Rabia. You heard her. I don't want to be old with my girlfriends in the nursing home. You mean Golden Girls, minus the marriage and the children. Miss Rabia, Miss Rabia, I'm only a year older than you. I'm telling you right now, you're a millennial just like I'm a millennial. I'm only a year older than you. I'm telling you right now, Miss Rabia, a lot of black women in particular, but women writ large, y'all are gonna be living the Golden Girls life. I'm telling you now, yo, it's gonna happen. Maybe not you. You're I see you struggling there because you want to pull the life jacket and jump off the you well better yet, you want to pull the parachute and jump off the plane. I can see you. You want to do it, but your ego got you in a weird way trying to make it sound what you're in now, like not giving up on it. It's still trying to make it sound empowering while also admitting you kind of don't like where you are right now. And you see that with a lot of women, not just black women. They're conflicted. They're conflicted because they don't want to overtly say, "Look, I need a man. This is lonely. This sucks out." You know, we've seen the clips of the women that are overtly saying that, but then we also see the clips, the videos of the women. You could see they're conflicted. They hate being single. They're lonely, but they don't want to say it like that. Like, I would like to have a man. I would like to be in a relationship, but I'm perfectly good being single. I'm doing my own thing, and I'm worried about my business, and I'm worried about my career, and I have so much to do. But I wouldn't mind, right? No, Miss Rabia, I'm going to tell you right now. We are going to watch a sizable chunk of women. I don't want to put a number on it, a percentage on it. No, we're going to watch them live the Golden Girls life. Oh, yes, we are. Huh? Oh, yes, we are. From what we can see about you, Miss Rabia, you don't come off insufferable. And the other women like you, y'all will catch some lick slipping. Y'all will catch some dude slipping. He might be okay with, okay, fine, I'm never gonna have kids with her, okay. But for the insufferable women, oh yeah, they're gonna be living the Golden Girls life. Huh? And Miss Rabia, you said yourself, you don't know, you don't really care to have children. You don't really. Shout out to all of the women, black, white, Latino, Asian, but because we're black men, that you don't even want to have children. So you have to ask yourself this: if a man doesn't have children now, if a man already has children, if he already had a wife, an ex-wife, a baby mom, and you as his current or potential girlfriend, potential wife don't want to have children, okay, that's a different conversation. But if he doesn't have children, what's the likeliness, Miss Rabia, that you will also be with a man who doesn't care to have children and he doesn't already have? Once again, the math, the social math, mathematical certainty. Miss Rabia, you are cute. You're 36. You already hit the wall. But what's the likeliness? Like, you know what it is? I think because men are usually more often than not, 9.5 out of 10 times, the pursuers, we have to actually somewhat sympathize with women so that we can get them, right? You have to consider, and even if it's on the very surface level, you have to consider what's appealing to her so that you can get her, whether that's for a night or whether that's for a lifetime. But what we're seeing when we let women talk, outside of maybe the tightest clothes humanly possible, they don't consider what men care about. As a matter of fact, they find it offensive to even be told to consider what men care about, what men find appealing, particularly in the Black community. It's offensive and insulting to say, yeah, we don't like that. We don't care about that. And for a woman to say, huh, right? Simone Biles Owens, anyone? Wait, you look like you care about what your husband's saying over there. You look like you're defending him and you're riding with him. Oh no, that's how we do in the Black community, Miss Biles Owens, right? We don't do that over here. No, you're supposed to do what Tina Knowles did. What Tina Knowles Lawson did, better yet, to her husband on camera. And essentially tell Mr. Jonathan Owens, you ain't all that. That's what you were supposed to say. Huh? Miss Rabia, we are going to watch. We're going to see it with extra women. Before we even get to millennial women, we're seeing it with extra women now. Shout out to Vivica A. Fox. That's a 60-year-old. As a matter of fact, that clip is going in the description box too. You're 60 and now, okay, I think, okay, now I'm ready to settle down. At 60, no kids. I think what Vivica A. Fox been married once, but with no children. Huh? So let's go through that again. Vivica A. Fox, 60. The white woman that I have in the description box that Fox News covered, somewhere, let's say late 40s, early 50s. Rabia is around 36. And the other young lady that I have in my description box from Instagram is what, 27, 28? Decade after decade after decade. Right? Give or take, that's 4 decades. Give or take 4 decades. 3.5 decades, something along those lines, right? And what do you see? No type of social math. There's none. Huh? I don't want to be single, but I do want to know, or I guess I have to care about what men care about because I don't want to be single. What do they care about? Huh? Y'all could throw Charlize Theron in there also. Now we already know there's some. We already know one of the reasons why men might not want to be around her. But once again, this is at first I thought it was all about the movie that she was in at the time. When she was telling men, approach me, talk to me. Right? Essentially, I'm single and available. I thought it was because of the movie she was in at the time. Then she kept on saying it, and the movie had already premiered, and she kept on saying it, and not a movie. The movie been out of theaters for years. And I'm like, wait a minute. Charlie's blonde, blue-eyed white woman from South Africa? Oh no. Huh? Insanity. And Longo says, Z, Vivica A. Fox is a boomer. Born in what's that? July 30th, 64. So let's go over that. Let's go through that. Vivica A. Fox is a boomer. The white lady looks like an older Xer. The white lady that I have from Fox News, that Fox News covered. Rabia is a millennial. And the young lady that I have in the clips, the Instagram clip, is maybe the youngest of millennials or the oldest of Gen Z. But for the sake of this conversation, we'll make her a Gen Z because she's either the absolute youngest of millennials or the oldest of Gen Z. Huh? That's 3 generations, everyone. Wait, 4 generations. Boomer, Xer, millennial, Gen Z. That's 4 generations that hit the iceberg. That is 4 generations of hitting the iceberg. Y'all want to throw Tracy Ellis Ross in there too? Well, Tracy Ellis Ross still ain't say she wants a man like that, like that, like that. Huh? She didn't even say, okay, I think I'm ready to settle down now. Overtly and own it. Huh? As I said, they got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. They hopscotching. Because their ego won't let them, and the sisterhood won't let them, and the girl code won't let them admit, look, I am lonely and I am looking for a suitable, quote unquote, suitable suitor. But this loneliness thing sucks. Their ego won't let them. The sisterhood won't let them. Girl code won't let them. So they're trying to dog whistle to men while also staying true to the sister girl code, the sister code. No, y'all gotta own it, or we just gonna leave y'all out there. Go ahead and stay out there. Have fun living that Golden Girls life. That's really what it is. They're trying to dog whistle to men or to individual men that they're now available at 60, while also staying to the girl code and saying, I don't really need you. It's not like I'm lonely or anything. It's not like I don't like being single or anything. It's just I wouldn't mind some companionship. And I wouldn't mind having a family. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind having children. But it's not like I want you or need you or anything. Absolutely not. Stay out there then. Oh, it's raining outside? Oh, well, huh? Oh, it's hell outside. Oh, well, huh? Tornado outside? Huh? Shout out to the... And they think men are the egomaniacs. Yeah, that's it. Men are the egomaniacs, right? Wow. You're watching the women right now can't admit that they hate being single. That they're waking up and saying, wait a minute. And Miss Rabia is a prime example of this. They're waking up and saying, yeah, I don't like this anymore. Right? Like, okay, I squeezed all of the empowerment juice out of this single thing. There's a pun in there. I squeezed all the empowerment juice out of this single thing. I think can I get let me get some of that relationship over there. Could you put that on the plate? They don't want to admit that. To them, it sounds too beggy, right? It's too beggy. They sound pressed. I don't want to sound pressed. I don't want to sound desperate. I don't want to sound beggy. I don't want to sound like I'm begging. Hell no. There's no way I'm going to put that in men's hands and so a man could feel like he did for me. No. So I'm going to dog whistle about how I'm open to being in a relationship while also holding on to the girl code. Well, then be single then. Sorry, ladies. It bees like that. Huh? It be like that. So y'all heard correctly. Y'all saw the clips, right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Y'all saw it. Miss Rabia is a prime example of that. The young lady, and she's under the age of 30, so she got a few more years before she hit that wall, that Roger wall, right? That 30 wall. Before she's out here sounding like real talk with Yenny. I'm over 30 now. I didn't hit the wall. Like Yenny don't care. Yenny, we are black men. We are raised by black women. Cut the crap. When you say you know, I didn't hit the wall, trying to mock us, lady. I saw your heart breaking. I saw your heart break, and I'm not even trying to laugh at Yenny. It's funny because she thinks she could. The thing that's funny about this is black women that you grew up with thinking they can lie to you like you're white. No, ladies, y'all want to be white, not black men. I'm not one of these, and black men are not one of these white or Latino or Latina or Asian or whoever the hell that y'all be lying to at y'all jobs and at school. I'm 30 now. I done hit the wall. Lady, I saw your heart breaking. I saw the desperation in your face. With your fake ass, I'm not, it's not like I'm bothered or anything. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? No, I'm not talking about Rabia right now. I'm talking about real talk with Yanni. And Trail says Rabia stated she is 35, 36, right? Man. But even with Miss Rabia and her femininity, you see the femininity leaking through the screen. Okay, I respect it. Okay, fine. Soft, even the way she speaks, cool. Not aggressive, not okay. Not coarse, not rough. Cool. But she's still staying true to that sister girl code by not just outright coming out and saying, okay, yeah, I'm single and this sucks. She's still staying true to the girl code that say, even when you feel desperate, you can't let the men know. Okay, fine. You may not want to say that in public so much. Okay, I get it, ladies. I get it. But even with that, Miss Rabia, you playing into the sister girl code too much. Right? Playing into the sister girl code way too much. There's a cost to that. There is a cost to that. Huh? And y'all are witnessing it with the ladies. Huh? And to the white women off of Fox News, right? Who didn't want to own what's going on with her in her life. And feminism lied to you. Okay, cool. Feminism lied to you. Huh? Feminism lied to you. Now what? Now I'm a black man, you're a white woman, so I ain't gonna tell you exactly what to do, but you definitely could meet a lame ass white dude. They make those in droves. You could definitely come up on a white dude. You could definitely they make those in droves. Ma'am, there's boxes of, there's dozens of, hundreds of, thousands of, millions of lame ass white dudes that will take you on. Child or not, no child. Huh? That's how we know it's you. At least you admitted feminism lied to you and told you could have it all. At least you admitted it. Right? Mm-mm-mm. Right? And a split Jim says, and thank you for the super chat, they too laissez-faire approach because they thought it would just happen. I agree with this. And thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. I agree with this. I think that is what it is. You work for your career. You work in school. You make sure you get good grades. You make sure those good grades in high school puts you in the position to get into a university or college of your choosing. You make sure you get good grades. You graduate undergrad. You might go um and get your master's degree, and right, your advanced degree. You might get your terminal degree so that you can put yourself in the best position for your career, right? Fine, all of that. But you don't necessarily work for a man, though. You work for a degree, you work for money, but you don't work for a man. You don't work for your you don't work on yourself for a man, because once again, that comes off too beggy, too desperate. No, we're not going to do that. Well, there's a cost to that. If you tell yourself you're not going to come off too beggy and not too desperate, there's a cost to that. Mathematical certainty. There's a social math. I said social math. Social math. Huh? I assure you, sir, the Titanic will founder. Right? It is made of iron. This ship can't sink. All right. Huh? The ship can't sink. A split Jim, I think you said it perfectly. They have a laissez-faire attitude towards relationships with men, particularly with black men. Right? They didn't ever think, no one told them that they had to appeal to men. Their mere presence was supposed to be appealing enough. As a matter of fact, in the black community, you're actually supposed to be mean, insufferable, condescending, rude, snarky, sassy. And that's your way of what, quote unquote, testing a man to see if he can deal with it, deal with the rigors of being with you. All right. Right? How is that working for the majority of black women? It's not. Once again, 62% of black women are single. 62%. Huh? Huh. So I agree with that, a split Jim. Laissez-faire attitude when it comes to black men in particular in relationships. Okay. They don't think they have to work for that. They'll, as I was saying before, they'll work for their degree. They'll work for their job. They'll work. They'll work. They'll work for their employer, but not for you. Not for you, men. Not for you. Definitely not for you, black men. Absolutely not. You're supposed to be a given. When she's good and ready, one of you is supposed to parachute through the ceiling, through the roof, be a multi-millionaire or billionaire, and just buy her. And remember, protect, provide, and shut up. That's your role, right? That's your role. And you better do it. Right? Now, that is not necessarily the energy that Miss Rabia was saying us with, but once again, she was still sticking to that sister girl code. Right? She was still sticking to that sister girl code. That I'm empowered no matter what code. I'm not pressed for anything. Right? Black women have taken that way too far. Worse than everyone else on that. That I'm never I ain't pressed for no man. Definitely not no black man. All right. Y'all more worried about what the sister code gotta say than whatever individual man you're attempting to be with. All right. I didn't know she said that. Right? I'm gonna read that in a minute. Give me 1 second, Indigo. Right? I did not know Eve said that. Right? Meanwhile, she over here with the white dude. Okay. And Indigo Flow says, cuss him out on the regular just to make him sick, Eve. And that was the man she thought she was gonna love forever. Right? Wow. Yeah. Huh? So they care more about the sister code and what other black women, women writ large, but black women have to say than they care about what this actually is going to cost them in relationship with a man, with a black man. And to the young lady that's under the age of 30, I think she was what, 27 or something like that. You still have a couple years, man. You still have a couple years. And that lets you know, like, for some of them, it gnaws at them. It gnaws at them. It kind of bothers them. But once again, the girl code, man. Right? Oh yeah. That song. Yes. Okay. All right, Indigo. Okay. I know what song you're referencing. Right? Huh. I'm just reading some of you guys' comments. And Namus says Rabia has mentioned in her culture that it's unusual for a woman in her 30s to be unwed when she talked about turning 36. Yeah. I mean, her mother had 5 daughters, and those 5 daughters, not a child among them. Huh? And to be frank with you, I know a number of, and like personal like stories here. I know a number of people around my age and older, 4 siblings, one of the, and all of them are way over 30, right? The youngest of them is 36. Out of the youngest of them that is 36, the youngest one, believe it or not, has 2 kids. The other 3, which are 2 girls and a boy, or 2 women and a man, no children. Okay, that's one. I know who else? How many kids do they have among them? I know another family, three kids my age, around my age and older, and one of them has 1 kid. Like, if you really consider what we're saying here, we're living in an era where our parents had 2 and 3 and 4 kids, and especially for us as millennials, we are well into our 30s, maybe even scraping 40, maybe even 40 and 41, no children, and never been married, right? Wow. Wow. And Miss Rabia is a testament to that, and her sisters are a testament to that. That speaks that that speaks to how insufferable some of these people are, but also how whimsical they are. And as the Split Jim said, they have a laissez-faire attitude towards relationship with men, heterosexual nuclear family type of relationship with men. It's just supposed to happen And by the way, it's just supposed to happen with a man that is insanely successful or doing insanely well financially, right? And give me a second with that, Vince. I am going to click on the link in 1 minute. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I have that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's in my history. All right. All right. And y'all gives you 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Gives you 1 second. Regular streams. And Indigo says, and we're back. And Indigo says, I I 39 have none. Younger brother 36 has one. Younger sister 31 has none. Youngest sister 28 has two. There were five of us by the time my parents were 33 and 35. Right? Wow. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Among us three, there is one and one on the way. Me and my sisters, there is one and there is one on the way. And yeah, right. And we're all, well, the youngest of us is 36. Let's put it that way. And out of three children, adult children, with their three children, we have two, right? Huh. And once again, a split gem. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Michael Ross, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. So yeah, no, I definitely wanted to come to y'all with this. I think it's important to stress. Yeah, these women feel like they were lied to, or and that's for the white woman. Notice the white woman went that far and said all of that. And there's clips of black women that say similar, but not really, right? The white woman said that. The black women, as you can see, are still attempting to hold that. Even the 20, 27, 28-year old, right? There's a part of them that I can't sound like I'm pressed about this. Maybe I might want to change it, but I'm not pressed. I'm not necessarily too concerned, right? It's a mixture of want and need. And what we see here is a number of black women in particular are saying they don't need you, and that's far from the truth. And they barely want you most of the time. Well, right? The young lady told you she didn't even have the C in career yet, right? She don't even got a piece of a man. Shout out to Guy, right? She even got a piece of a man. No kids, no man, and not even the C in career. Wow. And Miss Rabia told you she's 36. She's focused on her career, right? She's not really too pressed about being in a relationship, but she might want to switch it up just a bit where she goes to the gym and whatnot. Ma'am, you made a whole video about this, and you said yourself you don't want to be essentially one of the golden girls. You don't want to be with your girlfriends in the nursing home in the future. While also saying, I'm alone, but I'm not lonely, or however you said it, because they still got to make it seem like it's some type of empowerment thing, like they're okay and straight with what they're actually not. Can't let the man know that we're pressed. Can't let the men know that we're pressed. Right? Hmm. So yeah, no, I just wanted to bring this to y'all. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Um, I have some other stuff I want to cover. Let's see if I get to that later on today, maybe tomorrow. But I definitely wanted to bring up Miss Rabia in particular. Um, I wanted to tie that in to the clip of the Titanic scene when they realized that, yeah, the ship is going to go down. Because I want to stress, like, this is, if you do the social math, this is inevitable. Let me say that again. This is inevitable, right? What did the ladies think? You have, many of you have an adversarial relationship with men. You're holding on to your pride and ego, so you're never pressed about being in a relationship, right? Irreplaceable, right? Beyonce, irreplaceable. Men are irreplaceable. Oh, I'm sorry, not men are irreplaceable. Men are replaceable. They need to know that they need to never think that they're irreplaceable. They're replaceable, right? And if you do the social math, mathematical certainty, it says everything you need to know. Mr. B, you once you said it's you and what, four other sisters, that's five of you. Your mother has five daughters and none of you have children. All of you are single. What else do we need to know? All of you have bad luck with men. It's all the men, five women, it's the men. Okay, right? And I'm not saying she said that, she didn't. What I'm saying is none of you have the luck. Essentially, what I'm saying is all of you have bad luck with men. Five women. Ma'am, it doesn't work that way. This also speaks to a larger societal problem. This is why I've continued to stress this on my channel since the beginning. I definitely stressed it when I did the video about Ostefco years ago, right? This is a larger societal problem. To be honest with you, the society's putting young men and young women in a weird ass pincer move. Go spend half of your adulthood achieving and especially for the men, achieving and working and attempting to put yourself in the best position financially and educationally. Low key telling, high key telling the women the same thing. And then the men and the women wake up from this stupor in their late 30s, early 40s, particularly in the black community. But the black men can recover. Black women, on the other hand, well, right? This is why the Raj report says I gotta hold you accountable for what you believe in. Yeah, they lied to you, but I gotta hold you accountable for what you believe in, right? And this is what it looks like. Putting people in a pincer move. Go get your certificates. Go get your licenses. Go get your degree, right? Wake up in your late 20s, early 30s if you're fast enough, mid 30s, late 30s, maybe never, right? Realize you were lied to, and now what? Huh? And Vince says, who keep telling women to be quarrelsome, Z? That one, no one. That one is taught and socialized into them. No one is telling them that necessarily. I would argue no one is saying that to women necessarily, but they watch their mothers be that, they watch their aunts be that, they watch grandma be that, and that's how we get, particularly in the black community. You watch your mom fuss out your stepdad, talk to your stepdad all type of crazy, and he eat that, so you think it's okay, right? You watch that, you watch that, and so you think it's okay. Unfortunately, for young women, especially under the age of 50, under the age of 45, these young men ain't going. Especially for you younger millennials and Gen Z men, I see y'all. They're not going. So the women have actually really screwed themselves on this one. No pun on that. Huh? They've really screwed themselves on that one. Look at Real Talk with Yanni. Look at the facial expressions. Look at how she talk. Look at Chrissy. We don't know what she looked like, but listen to her talk. Shout out to Paris Milan. Whatever African brother said, I'm a wifer anyway. Right? I'll take it. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Same thing with Bowser. I'll take it. Shout out to that brother. Right? Look at the way they speak. Look at their facial expressions. Look at the arguments they make concerning relationships in men, particularly black men. Right? It says a lot. Huh? Man. So I agree with Trell. Trell, where's that comment? And Trell says they mamas and daddies allow it. Exactly. They mamas and daddies allow it. Me and my lady had this conversation about someone family related, and you see the little girl, and you could see it from her face. She gone, and we were around her when she was like what 12 or someone like that. Haven't seen her in a couple years, but yeah, she got. It was already done. It was already written. Shout out to Nas, right? It was already written. It was written. It was already written. You could see it on. Oh, okay. Yep, we already know. Yep, we already know where that's going. Right? And Toya says, "Come on now, hit that like button, please. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat." As Toya said, hit that like button, please. Right? Oh man. All right. And once again, Michael Ross, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Vince is not gonna lie, I see the shadow of mental illness in her facial expression. Baby Jennifer Lewis, hysterical. Who covered it? Was it who? Oh yeah, it was Dr. Thunder. It was Dr. Thunder. Okay, somebody made a comment on Dr. Thunder's channel. I want to say that was yesterday. He covered it when I covered Leona Worldwide. The first time I covered her when she was saying why she doesn't date black men. Shout out to BGS who also covered it. And someone in the comments said she reminds she reminds them of the woman that tried to get it wasn't Coach Carter, it was the principal. It was the movie with the black principal. She reminds them of the mom that was at like that PTA meeting or whatever it was that was trying to get the principal fired. And when I read that comment, and no, when Dr. Thunder read that comment off of his screen, I damn near fell out. That's a real actress. What is her name? Somebody knows her name. What is her name? Because that wasn't the only movie that she was in, but that was hysterical. That was because she does look like her in the face, right? Oh, that was so funny. And even the way her hair was done up. Man, when I tell y'all, I almost the second Dr. Thunder read it, I already thought about it. I was like, oh, that was funny. Oh, that was funny. Oh, that was funny. Right? Man. and it's crazy because even the demeanor. Y'all gives you 1 second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. Wrong button. And we're back. Right? I ain't even gonna read it out loud to you. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy because the second Dr. Thunder read that, and I don't even think he remembers the character that the brother in the comments referenced, but when he read it, I knew who that brother was talking about. I was like, oh man. I knew the scene that he was talking about. Well, at least I remember the scene that he was talking about too. Or he didn't reference that scene. He said that she was trying to get him fired or something like that. But yeah, I remember the scene. Right? Hysterical. Man, that was funny. But yeah, so Leona Worldwide is an interesting character too, because it's interesting how we all deal with, especially for those of us, I'm in a relationship, but when I was single, how we deal with being single, how we speak about being single, particularly in the Black community, how Black women speak about being single, how Black men speak about being single, especially when you would rather not be. And how many of us speak about it's the opposite sex, they're losers, and and even with the women, the word settling, women speak as if men don't settle. And here's the kicker, that men don't settle, and you would never know that we feel like we settled. As a matter of fact, because we convince ourselves that we didn't. Oh boy, Z, you telling the secrets today. You would never know that we settled because we convinced ourselves we didn't settle. You can't tell that we settle when we give you them orgasms. Oops. Right? You'll never know that you weren't the prettiest chick that we ever dated. God damn, Z. Huh? You're not the nicest. You're not the smartest. We fumbled the bag in the past. Now we regret it, and we know we can double back. This is not Z's story, but I know a couple of brothers. I don't even want to expose my friends like that. Some of them could be listening. Right? Married with kids and all, and they make their wife feel like the most special person in the world, as they should. So miss me with the settling thing, ladies. White women aren't told to settle. Why are black women always told to settle? White women aren't told to settle. Who wants to be with average anyway? Ladies. Do you know how many of you are average and below average, ladies? Shout out to Kendra G. Kendra G was there, and I think it was her what I guess Kendra G had a co-host that day or that night. Kendra G co-host literally looked this sister in the face on camera, of course, and said, you know, what are 3 things that you would have to fix about yourself, improve about yourself? This lady was so overweight, her face was swollen, y'all. She wasn't a looker either. She was so overweight. I didn't see the stand-up part of it. A Media Man covered this, right? She was so overweight, her face was swollen, y'all. Weavy wonder, swollen face. She was a darker skinned woman, and she looked like she had bags under her eyes, even with the darker skin. And this lady was looking up in the sky like, oh, what can I fix about myself? What? As a split Jim said, laissez-faire. Right? Not laissez-faire economics, but laissez-faire attitude when it comes to relationships. Right? Not a laissez-faire economy, but a laissez-faire relationship economy. Huh, there you go. A whole lot of women practicing laissez-faire relationship economy. And there's a cost to that. If we're going to continue with the puns, there's a cost to that, ladies. There is a cost to that. Right? And you are living the cost to that. The consequences of that. Right? Vince says, a lot of women think they are Miami 8 and really be a Universal 6. Man, there's a brother from down here in South Florida, and he has this funny clip where he said he told a woman, bro, you are average down here in Miami. Like in Miami, you are, and you know, the brother's a little bit heavier set and whatever. And so the women are in the comments making fun of him. And that's because they refuse to actually grapple with what he was saying. Do we have average people in South Florida? Yes, duh. The majority of us are average still. Yes, absolutely. But disproportionately, we are up there competing with LA. Yeah, I said it, BGS. Huh? And I'm not talking about surgery, Charles. Before Charles pop up. Talking about some inflated balloon asses or whatnot. Right? We compete against New York and LA. Right? Disproportionately in South Florida, especially if you count the tourist. But even if you don't count the tourist, right? So yeah, the brother was telling the truth. And this is the world where you have women who their life, and this is the kicker, right? Men know we got to get our life together because life tells you got to get it together. You know you got to get it together when you're in your 30s still living at home with your parents. You know you have to get it together when you actually do get the cute girl's number and you're like, oh crap, how am I going to pick her up? Huh? Life lets you know. You know you have to get it together because you've been on 3 or 4 dates now with 3 or 4 different women, and all of them at the end of the first date say, "Yeah, no, I don't see us going any further than this." Life lets you know you got to get it together, huh? You know you have to get it together because you've been in the past 4 years. You've been through 5 different jobs. You know you got to get your life together. You know it's you. Women, on the other hand, black women, could be in how many different situationships, relationships, how many different one night stands, go through how many jobs in a matter of a couple years, huh? Try to start a business 2, 3 times, and yet it's not them. They could touch the scale and the scale damn near shatter, but it's not them. They're not overweight, huh? You have a woman, a black woman, asking another black woman, "What are 3 things you could fix about yourself?" And she's looking up in the sky like, Then on another clip, shout out to Medium Man. There's another clip of a sister. She looks far more appealing, and same result. And she's like, "Ooh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. Ooh, you gotta give me some time to think about that. You have to think about the things that you have to work on. Life isn't telling you what you have to work on. That's frightening." Mr. Z got this gut on him. Nobody got to tell me I got this gut on me now, huh? And excuse my background, y'all. Y'all know regular streams, right? Wow. You don't know what you have to work on? And then you wonder why the birth rate is 1.6 across America, 1.8. Dear America, these are your delusional ass daughters, America. These are your delusional ass daughters, America. They done hit the iceberg. They still don't realize they hit the ship is taking on water. The ship is taking on water. They still don't even realize they hit the iceberg. That's why I played the Titanic clip. It's a mathematical certainty. Wow. Sad stuff. Huh? Sad stuff. And Afro National says, "Life kicks man in the ass every day. We can't be delusional." Say that. And you have this heavy set sister. I'm telling y'all, if y'all see this, and it's like, I'm really trying not to make fun. I'm really trying. And to see her when I guess that's Kendra G's co-host for the night, ask her, "What are 3 things you have to work on?" And when y'all see her look up in the sky, like look up at her ceiling, like, it's damn near enraging. Because the mirror should tell you what you need to work on. The scale tells you what you need to work on, ma'am. And to see her just looking up at the sky, like, right? Exactly, L's active. And L's active says the day after the date when you check your bank account, it tells you what you need to work on. Exactly. Exactly. Right? Vince says, "Z, I got 6 girl numbers this week and have zero right now, $0 right now. I'm experiencing that right now." Man, look, life tells you what you need to work on, right? Exactly. L's active says you got a date but ain't got any new clothes. Life tells you what you got to work on because as an adult male, ain't no guardrails. There's no one's offering you guardrails. Women, unless you gotta be a specimen of a man, and even then, that's questionable. Women aren't offering you guardrails unless you got a rich ass daddy. Shout out to Donald Trump and Mitt Romney, right? Life is not offering you guardrails as a man, as a black man in particular. Life is not offering you no damn guardrails. Women aren't offering you guardrails. If it's a gutter ball, it's a gutter ball. That's it. Better luck next time. Better luck next time. Right? Meanwhile, heavy overweight black women don't know what they got to work on. Huh? Black women who've been swirling for damn near 2 decades don't know what they got to work on. Shout out to you, Chrissy. Oops. Black women who put the vagina on the table for one of their homeboys, who have a whole decenter men campaign, who's supposedly been celibate for a while now, don't know what they got to work on. Shout out to you, Yanni. Huh? Vince says, I don't want no struggle love, my ex. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds about right. Shout out to all the women who speak in this way. Huh? Don't want struggle love. Don't want who wants to be average anyway, right? Y'all are the ones turning marriage into a luxury item, ladies. There's a cost to that. There's a cost to that. Huh? Because I do think we're gonna have some women, that class divide is gonna grow amongst women, especially black women. I already said it about Kamala. Kamala become president because this is Trump's election to lose. So I'm going to start saying this more and more. I'm not going to say if Kamala wins. I'm going to say if Trump loses. This is Trump's election to lose, right? And if Trump loses, black women in particular will be encouraged to live vicariously through Kamala Harris. Just like they're being encouraged to live vicariously through Sierra with the Sierra Prayer and through Beyonce, right? And through Sexy Red and through Glorilla, right? And through Meg the Stallion, right? Huh? Apparently, Sweetie and YG got into an argument or damn their fight through Sweetie. Lady, there's two. That's two fights. That's two now. It's you, right? Live vicariously through Michelle Obama. They're going to be encouraged to live vicariously through these women while they have nothing. The masses of black women will have nothing and be encouraged to live through the black women that have a few dollars and some status, right? Dreddy Beam says, if Harris wins, we're cooked. I'm not going to say. Let me put it this way. I am far less confident that Trump is going to win than others are. I do not see him running the same election that he did in 2016. I'm far less convinced that he will win than others are. Others are saying that it's like a fait accompli. I'm not saying that. Right? Not saying he's going to lose, but yeah, he's not running the same election he ran in 2016, number one. And number two, there's a lot riding on Harris. There's a lot of stuff the Democrats are trying to get done. They're trying to button up, right? A lot. Right? So I'll say that. And if she wins, or better yet, like I said earlier, if Trump loses, y'all make sure y'all let everybody know. Y'all heard it here first, right? Indigo says fait accompli. Z dropping vocabs on us. I I don't have the largest vocabulary. I'm not you, Indigo, and I'm not Toya, but it's still sizable. I'm reluctant to say certain words because I'm not 100% sure how to spell them. Right? Like, you know the word, you know the definition. You've written it like once or twice, maybe 3 times, but you might have forgotten how to spell it. So you like, am I gonna say that word? Right? It's a word that you know, like, you know the definition. Well, you know loosely the definition of, right? That's why I hate when people ask others, like, what's the definition? What does that mean? I do it sometimes, no lie. But we know, like, most people don't know the hard ass definition of a word. You throw people off when you do that, right? But yes, yeah, and there I could use more 4 and 5 syllable words, and yeah, I could, and I do when I purposely want to throw someone off in real life, all right? But then you're kind of playing Russian roulette because you might be in that type of conversation with someone who you thought didn't know what you were saying, or you didn't realize that they have a larger vocabulary than you, and then they're like, "Oh, prison rules. Okay, fine." Right? Oh, that's what we doing. Oh, we going in the dictionary with it. Okay, don't worry about it. Right? And Toya says, oh, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Toya didn't say that, but Z is saying that. Right? And Indigo says, that's where I come in, brother. I got you. Right? Hey, shout out to Afro National. You see me? And Afro National says, I be knowing definitions and still Google them. LOL. Bruh, you're not the only one. Exactly. And Toya says, the way words change context over time, man, listen. So that reminds me of, like, Uncle Tom, right? Um, for those of us that know, Uncle Tom was actually not the hero of the story, but he wasn't the villain of the story necessarily. But what ends up happening is, over time, the way Black people see Uncle Tom changes. And so Uncle Tom becomes a pejorative because we're saying we're not going to, quote unquote, behave ourselves according to white specifications, I guess we'll say. We won't behave ourselves for the white gaze, right? So yeah, so that's what causes the term Uncle Tom to become a negative. And yeah, so I agree with Toya on that. And the way, especially like in the Black community, amongst those of us that are into rap and hip hop, and we follow all of the modern slang, the way words come in and out of style is crazy. It is crazy how words and phrases come in and out of style. Like, listening to Gen Z say diabolical for everything is insane, right? Like, the way we're using cooked right now, right? Like, it's insane how these words come in and out of style and then what they mean at any moment in time, right? Oh, energy. Pfft, Dreddy Bean. Women with this damn word energy. Jesus Christ. And when you said energy, I thought about Carrie Hilson's song Energy. Shout out to Toya. I know Toya knows what song I'm talking about. Hysterical. But yeah, no, yeah. That's what I thought about. Because really the way they were using energy, I'm like, bro, what are we, like, a decade and a half ago? Right? Yeah, no, the way they use energy, women in particular, Black women even more. Energy. It's giving. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's giving is women. Manifesting is mainly women, right? Weird, yeah, weird. Right? And I wonder what Californians have to say about how people are using the word weird right now. right? Huh? But yeah, oh, perfect. And Spainman says I got checked for using swagger, but it was the best word for the job. Yeah, remember like for us as millennials, swag and swagger was the word for like a year or so, year or two, right? So the way words come in and out of style, um, yeah, especially amongst black people, um, yeah, the slang of the moment, right? And I purposely like don't use certain words, certain slang of the moment because I don't want to come off and shout out to Tariq Nasheed because to me sometimes this is how he comes off. Like you're trying too hard to like you can be the brother that still talks to young folks without looking like you're trying too hard to be like the young old dude, right? And so that's why like I don't use certain words because like I'm too old for that. I can still get my message across without using the same words. I'm 37 as a 22-year-old, right? Just to let them know, like I'm gonna purposely do this, just to let them know that I'm in touch, right? I know what's happening. I know what words. What's the new slang? Stop, right? Oh man. Oh, gaslighting. Jesus Christ. I say this with love. That too. Misogyny. No, that's old. That's old, right? Healing. Oh, Jesus Christ. L's active. What woman isn't going through a healing journey or hasn't gone through a healing journey? And they say narcissistic. Yeah, I remember watching something, and even a woman was like, "Yo, not this many people are narcissists. Y'all are using the word, y'all are flinging the word narcissist around way too flippantly." And it's funny that she said that because she didn't say women. Men aren't calling everyone narcissist, right? Men aren't calling everyone narcissist. Women are, huh? And women are definitely calling men narcissists because any man with standards is a narcissist. Women can have standards all day. Standards, requirements, right? But yeah, toxic, that's another one. Indigo, oh God. What man isn't toxic? Indigo says respectfully, right? Saying something borderline disrespectful, insulting, belittling, condescending, and then ending the statement with respectfully, Jesus Christ. Toya said, I love that for you. That's women. That's women all day, especially black women. That's women. Jenny Bean said, what do they even be doing when they're healing? Bro, these women be the most aggressive, mean women on the face of the earth, talking about they were in therapy or they are in therapy and they're going through their healing journey. You're healing and you sound like this? If this is healed you or healing you, then what does hurt you sound like? Huh. Mr. Shook to you, then you should not be engaging with the left whatsoever at all, because the left is talking about Kamala and what's his name, like they're a vibe, right? And Mr. Shook to you says describing a person as quote unquote a vibe really chaps my britches. Yeah, no, yeah, everyone, yeah, they're definitely using that, right? That's what I'm saying. Trendy Bean says these are the meanest sounding quote unquote healed women I've ever seen, bro. Healed. I'm going through my healing journey. When I was going through my healing journey, bruh. Yeah, that's it. Healed. Definitely not. Definitely, they don't be healed. I say this with love. Jesus. That I say this with love. That's the worst. Michael Ross says, "I'll be saying cap sometimes. I've said it. I've said it." Vince says, "My ex is going through a healing journey." Oh boy, right? Yeah. And Toya says, "I hate how they shortened it to narc." I'm talking about narcissist. When that word refers to a whole different person to those of us of a certain age. Yeah, when I hear narc, I hear like police. I hear like he's a narc. He's a sellout. He's like playing two sides. He's yeah. Now I hear the same thing you hear, Toya. Right? He's an informer. He's an informant. Right? When I hear narc, that's what I hear. Right? L's active says, "Do they even know what feminism means?" L's active. You done stepped in it. So if you let women talk, Toya, you could back me up on this, or you could disagree with me on this. Tell me I'm wrong. They'll tell you feminism means different things to different women. So where we seek to have a word, so this is where men are quote unquote collective, right? This is the word. This is what we agree that the word means. This is what the word means. Do not use it out of this context. If we're going to change the context of the word, we need to come in and agree with the new context of the word is. But this is the definition of the word. I'm going to put it in Webster's, okay, as this definition. Are we in agreement? Okay, yes. That is not what women are on. Women are on, okay, do we agree that this is the definition of the word? Yes, but could we kind of modify it and change it a little bit? Because I think it's this. Oh, well, I feel it's this. Oh, well, I feel it's this. You know what? Then we don't have to have a definition of the word. The word means whatever you want it to mean. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Someone tell me I'm lying. Right? So, to what L's active is saying, do they know what feminism means? Well, for different women, it means different things. So she doesn't have to quote unquote know what feminism means, because feminism means something different for her than it means for Toya, than it means for Kareen, than it means for any black woman. Right? Huh. And Toya says, Z, that's what moving the goalpost is supported by. Being able to say it means this over here, but right now it means this. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. And Spain Man says the Sisterhood definitely hijacked Mammy without authorization. Well, to me, the way you watched um black women writ large, but divestors and swirlers in specific, the way they use Mammy, to me, what made that so egregious, or what's so egregious about it, is how racist it is. Right? Like how very clearly anti-black man it is. It is like next level. For those of us of a certain age and understand, Mammy was the doer, teller, snitch, um, corraler of other black people, the black woman who did the bidding of the white slaver, or if we're going through Jim Crow, the 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 old white man that owns the house, right? The Mammy was essentially his quote unquote do girl. And you watched as swirlers and divestors specifically, but black women writ large, start to call other black women who have a love and appreciation for black men and defend the image and the honor of black men. You start to watch swirlers and divestors specifically call those women mammies. Right? And that to me just spoke to how anti-black. So when I call these women anti-black, when I say they're racist, they're engaging in racist-like practices, I'm not just saying it. I'm not just throwing that out there. That's why, if you want to know, Mr. Z could just lie to y'all and BS y'all I can attempt to do that, but just so that you can get your own reading and understanding of something, even if I have my own reading of it, that's why I put the links in the description box. If you want to know why, Mr. Z puts the links in the description box so that you don't have to agree with what I'm saying. So you can hear this person in their own words. It doesn't have to be my interpretation, right? So when it comes to this term mammy, y'all have watched black women in particular use this term to speak about black women like a Simone Biles Owens. The same way they use pick me right now. You're a pick me black woman. You're a pick me woman because you actually care about men's opinions, black men in specific opinion, including your own black man. Right? And so women that actually say, you know what, I don't necessarily care to be antagonistic towards men. I don't necessarily care to argue and ridicule and insult my man in public. I'm not going to do the Tina Knowles Lawson thing. Women who do that are called pick-me's and mammies. Black women in specific. And a number of black women have shown you that they care more about the sisterhood's opinion of their relationship and their relationship dynamics than they actually care about their relationship and their relationship dynamics. Huh? And what makes, and this is why I continue to bring up Simone Biles Owens, what makes her so egregious is that she lets them know that she's read their comments and sees what they say, and she's still riding with her and for her husband. And making a public display of it also. And you know ain't nothing, oh, you want to know what chaps black women's ass. Is Simone Biles Owens knowing. For those of you that seen the clip where she's cutting up a piece of tape and you see the comments from all these different people, women popping up on the screen, and then Simone Biles always like puts the tape on the camera, like essentially tape your lips, tape your mouth, right? And Spain Man says, and we all want to get picked. But Spain Man, here's the problem. Women aren't pressed to get picked. Now we made full circle back to the original topic. Women aren't pressed to get picked, remember? They have a nonchalant, shout out to a split gym, laissez-faire attitude towards relationships with men, towards intimacy, right? Towards a nuclear family. They may want it, but they're not pressed about it. They're not desperate about it. They're not quote unquote thirsty, right? Exactly. And Spain Man says, goes back to your earlier point, black women resisting looking like they want to be picked. Exactly. We have come full circle in relationships where now our moms, our grandmothers, great grandmothers, as adversarial as they were, as a handful as they were, they wanted to be picked. They wanted to be picked. And they let it know that they wanted to be picked. These women say, not me, I ain't gonna be like my mama. All right, they don't get picked. And it's a power dynamic thing, right? I don't want to look like I want to be picked. I don't want to give that to men. I don't want to give that to a man, to a black man especially. I don't want to give him that. So whether I want to be picked or not, you'll never know. Right? I don't want to give black men that type of power. That to feel like I care whether I'm chosen or not. I would rather be single indefinitely than put myself in the position to look like I care about being single. to look like I'm pressed or desperate or thirsty, right? Say that. And Els Active says, Gynocracy Act 4, 1997. A woman should never support a black man over the collective of black women. Say that. And Bowser essentially said as much, right? Bowser pretty much said as much. Alexa, play Homies Over Hoes from Boondocks, please. Shout out to Aaron McGruger. Brother, you have it wrong. It ain't black men saying homies over hoes right now. It's black women. Right? It's black women. Huh? So yeah, they don't want to seem pressed. They don't want to seem desperate. They don't want to seem like they care. And Z says there is nothing wrong with that, but there will be a other side to this equation. There will be a other side to the equal side. Miss Rabia is an example of that. The young lady that I have in the description box from Instagram is an example of that. The white woman off of that Fox News covered is an example of that. Huh? Telescope says hoes over husbands. Hysterical. Huh? There's a cost to that. And let me read this one now. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And KMS says, I find it morbidly hilarious that black women understand and use to the point of exploitation and adage, the squeaky wheel. Oh yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Except when it comes to intimate relationships, then they can't be bothered. Find rust. Look, that can't be bothered. The Omarion unbothered crap. I get what you're saying, KMS. The Omarion unbothered crap that they playing at right now. I don't want to come off pressed. I don't want to come off desperate. I don't want to come off needy. I don't want to come off lonely. I don't want to come off like I'm bothered by this, especially because of the power dynamic. This is what I'm saying, and this is going to be arrogant of me, and I'm okay with that. I don't even think that these women can fully articulate why they're doing what they're doing. I don't think people really are good at articulating why they do the things they do, especially when it is animated by a negative emotion. Now I'm getting into some of that sociology bag, right, and psychology bag. When for those of you that was here when I covered the dating divide years ago, if you recall when Jennifer, and I don't remember, did I play that part? I might have played that part when Dr. Jennifer Lundquist said something along the lines. Remember, this is a PhD. If I'm not mistaken, I think she got 2 PhDs, one in sociology and one in demography, if I'm not mistaken. So this is like a PhD. This is what she does. She studies people. This is what she does for a living. And she said, we don't ask people why they do. That's it. And I'm paraphrasing. We don't ask people why they do what they do because, once again, paraphrasing, they don't even know why they do what they do. And they're going to probably lie about it. Right? And they're probably going to lie about it. Huh? And that speaks to something, doesn't it? So I think, going to what KMS is saying, I don't think these women really appreciate how much they've bought into a narrative that the sisterhood has pushed, and how much that narrative that the sisterhood pushes harms them, harms black men, harms black children, and they're actually doing the bidding of the dominant society. I want to say the reason why it's particularly egregious coming from the left is that the left spends a whole lot of time speaking about how much we do the bidding of white supremacy inadvertently, right? How much of nuclear family, how much of the way some of the concepts we have about femininity and masculinity and womanhood and manhood are constructs from a neo-colonial capitalist, um, white ethno-state concept of these things. And Mr. Z is the type to say, okay, I'll concede that, even if it's just for argument's sake, fine. And your concepts and how and what you're attempting to do to quote unquote push back against that, to quote unquote remedy that, is also animated by white supremacy, because look at how antagonistic you are to black men, right? Look how insulting you are to black men. So going back to what KMS is saying about this kind of unbothered, don't care, laissez-faire, nonchalant view of men, black men in particular, and being in a relationship with them and being in a relationship to them. If that is how you are going to approach black men and being in a relationship with a black man, right? If you are going to adopt a very neoliberal, business-like concept of relationship, right? No romance without finance. If you are going to adopt that, then understand there's a consequence. If you are going to, whether knowingly or unknowingly, essentially boil relationships and intimacy down to a luxury item, marriage in particular down to a luxury item, just like you say, and whether you're actually saying this or not, ladies, just like you're saying, well, now that marriage is a luxury item, I want the best bang for my buck, pun intended, then the men are saying, yes, me too. I want the best bang for my buck also. And if you're going to boil me down to nothing but a walking ATM machine, these dusty dollars are going to buy the baddest woman they can buy. Huh? And if you notice, rest in peace, Kevin, whenever Kevin would put that to the women that say, who wants to be with average anyway, right? When he would say to them, okay, and I'm paraphrasing, okay, you boil men down to nothing but a walking ATM machine, fine. Well, the men that are the biggest, baddest walking ATM machines, this is what they're looking for. And that's when the women would start to do their whole backtrack thing. What about love? What about companionship? Well, I know to cook, right? And I look good. And now we start to do some of the more, and now we're starting to talk about some of the more ethereal and intangible things, right? He got to come with the numbers. Pause on this. Something that you can touch, taste, feel, hear. You, on the other hand, remember, you just boiled him down to nothing but a walking ATM machine. But when Kevin Samuels tells you what that looks like on your end, which you have to do, or more likely have to do, to procure such man, now we start speaking in these ambiguous ways about things that aren't measurable or that you wish weren't measurable. Huh? Yeah. So I think the and when you say the greasy wheel gets the squeaky wheel gets the grease, KMS, the power dynamic, man. I really don't see the women budging, bro. I don't see. I think this technology called feminism puts women in this weird ass, and that's why the white lady that's on the clip from Fox News, that's why she says feminism, because it puts women in this weirdo position where like it's not part of the sisterhood to admit that you feel vulnerable, that you don't like this this 40-hour work week thing, maybe if you're even pushing 50-plus-hour work weeks, that you both need and want a man worth a damn, that companionship matters to you, particularly companionship where it's not all in your favor, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. The problem is, especially in the black community, I would argue, women don't want to actually, they don't want that dynamic, right? Listen to the women on that church panel that I covered. Shout out to Media Man. That Media Man covered some days ago now. It might even be over a week now. Listen to how the women were framing it, that the men were on the wrong side of history. The men were messed up. The men didn't earn enough. The men didn't want to strip down their pride and ego. The men. And I say, fine. The men. Unfortunately for you, ma'am, the men don't agree. And that's why you're single and childless at what I think she was 39 years old. The men don't agree that they're on the wrong side of history. Huh? And I'm bringing that up, KMS, to say this is how they reconcile being single. The women I'm describing reconcile being single with degrading men and insulting men and speaking about how wrong the men are and how immature the men are, instead of being honest and saying, I don't want the dynamic that and playing the position that I would need to play. That's one thing I got to give Ebony K. Williams. She sit on Stephen A. Smith. She know what she got to do to be in a relationship. She just don't want to do it. She know what women she would have to be. She just the way her what Kevin Hart said, the way my bank account is set up, the way her pride and ego is set up, she just don't want to do it. Shout out to Ebony K. Williams. At least she said it. At least she said it. Now I'm paraphrasing, but at least she said it. Huh? So the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Yeah, that's if you're being a squeaky wheel. The sisterhood, the collective sisterhood's pride and ego tells black women, don't you dare. You better eat your desperation. Pause on this. I don't actually mean this. No giggity on this one. No diggity. No giggity on this one. They tell the women, no, swallow it. Swallow that pride and ego. Swallow it. That loneliness, swallow it. No pun intended on that one, y'all. No pun intended. That's what the sisterhood is saying to the women. Don't you cry. Don't you let those men, especially those black men, don't you let them know that you desperate and single. What do I bring up occasionally? I used to bring it up a whole lot. I bring it up less and less now. When Chrissy was speaking on one of her lives and she let it slip, she was like, me, and you could hear it in her voice. She lamented being in her luxury apartment by herself, alone. And she said it, me in my luxury apartment alone. Now, this is a woman that says she don't even know she wants to live with a man. This is a woman that says she entertains poly relationships and all different type of stuff, right? This is a woman that said all of that, but yet and still was lamenting being in her luxury apartment that she can afford by herself, being in that luxury apartment by herself, right? The sisterhood demands that the women suffer in silence. Talk about suffering in silence. So shout out to May talking about a cruel tutelage. You sure it's men, black men, putting women through a cruel tutelage? You sure the sisterhood isn't putting y'all through a cruel tutelage? By telling you to go, hey, don't let the men know. Shut up. Don't mess up what we got going on over here. Right? So once again, thank you for the super chat, KMS. Thank you for the super chat. Kanguru says, join late, and thank you for the super chat. Join late, just supporting my local Tether King. Hysterical. Y'all better stop before Tariq Nasheed pull up on me. I heard they call you the Tether King. Right? And now I'm a bit confused, to be honest with you, because I was listening to Jason Black the other night, and it's like the word has expanded. So tether doesn't mean a foreign-born black person or a recent immigrant black person or even a person that was born here but whose parents are immigrant and they have like negative views of ADOS FBA and they get in the way of ADOS FBA. Now it looked like it's expanded. Now it looks like it's like even ADOS FBA that don't move a particular way. So why don't we just coon? Like I thought we had a word for this already. I thought there was a word for this already. I was listening to Jason Black and it was a brother that called in and he disagreed with Jason Black on something and I think the brother said don't he was living in New York or whatever, but his family was from Alabama going back how many generations, and I swear that Jason Black did not hear him because Jason Black was trying to get the joke out. Jason, brother, as a fellow corny brother, Jason, you're not funny. You're not even the corny funny. As a fellow, look, Jason, Mr. Z is corny. I own it. I laugh at my own jokes, and I laugh like a schoolgirl, right? And Jason Black is like making fun of this dude and calling him a tether, and I'm like, didn't the dude just say that his people from Alabama going way back? I mean, like he could be a tether, but is he a tether just because he disagrees with you, right? Man, thank you, Indigo. There was already a damn word for it. I'm like, I thought tether, like, and like I prided myself on being like, I ain't no tether, right? And like now the word tether has expanded so much. I'm like, well, maybe, right? Apparently, if Jason Black or Tariq Nasheed disagree with you on anything politically, socially, right, economically, your worldview, then you're a tether, and then their subscribers will descend on you on some tether talk, right? That's crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt slighted when he went in on the word progressive, like the progressives. You mean the rainbow? And he was like essentially like, I thought Jason Black was better than this. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I'm not even. I know everyone. I know. I did think Jason Black was better than this when he was talking about progressive, and Jason Black did everything but call progressives gay. He did everything but call progressive men gay. And Mr. Z was like, "You rain, huh?" And that's why I put that little jab out there the other day when I was like, yeah, Jason, and when you went over there sniffing around them white conservative dudes a few years ago, it was like more like a decade ago at this point, but yeah, some years ago, and that white dude showed you his racist fangs and you called him out for it and he stood on it. What happened? Huh? What happened? Huh? Oh, yeah, no, Jason Black pretty much called progressive dudes everything but gay. He like you know when you walk around it and you're just describing things and you pretty much say it without saying it. Yeah, that's what he did. Right? Hey, I heard Jason Black. I was like, bro, Jason Black, this is borderline like angry black woman talk right here. You might as well say it. Like you might as well call. Well, did he even say sassy? He might have said sassy. He might have. I don't remember. He might have not. But essentially, right? Man. And Toya says, "You've heard of stick talk. Now, that's what I call a goalpost. Number 45 brings you tether talk." Right? Oh man. But yeah, Kunguru, I guess I will be Tether King. I guess I will be Tether King because um I am the child of black immigrants. I was born and raised in America. I attempt my hardest not to get in ADOS and FBA's way. Um yeah, I don't go against at least I try not to go against what the collective of eight the whatever would benefit ADOS FBA collectively, right? As a matter of fact, I advocate the way they advocate. Yeah. So yeah, but when I heard Jason Black say that the other day, I was like, wait a minute, so it means something new now? Like I said, the brother could have been a tether for real, or at least foreign born, or his parents might have been foreign born or whatever. But he did say his people go way back from to Alabama. But once Jason Black was like, see, you are from New York, and I'm like, yeah, but I thought he said his people were from Alabama or something like that, right? But yeah, I don't know. I'll read this one now. Guru says, "I don't think you're a coon. LOL. You are definitely more dedicated to the black plight than Anton Daniels. Oh man, look, don't make Anton pull up on me. I'm willing to have that argument though. I really am. I'm willing to have an argument with any of the conservative brothers that think what they're advocating for is beneficial to the masses of black people. I'm willing to have that argument any day, right? But no, I think with Anton, what you're seeing is really a class thing, and I think you're going to now. Ooh, let me make sure. Let me make sure I say that because I want to put it in the books. As more and more black people talking about founder, right? Shout out to the Titanic. As more and more black people sink, black women in particular, you're going to see a even wider class divide and class gap. And I think Anton is part of the cutting edge of that. I think Lexus Exodus is on the cutting edge of that. I think Mahogany Pink is. I think Ebony K. Williams is. I think Bowser is. I think Chrissy is. I think if Real Talk with Yanni is also more income than class. But I think if she's to have a daughter and she maintains her type of situation, you'll see that in a daughter of hers. I think you'll see a growing chasm based on class and our worldview because of the class and the income, even though we share the same skin colors or hue, right? And that's why I keep on speaking about the outliers doing way too much talking. And I think Anton, that's what you see is a something that worked for him, and like so far in his life, for the most part, it's worked. He stuck to the formula and it's worked. He got married young. He had his child in wedlock. He's not divorced. None of his, from my understanding, none of his siblings are divorced. His parents are still married. I think his wife's parents are still married. So it worked for him, right? And by the way, I'm not saying that this is not the way it should be. What I'm saying is, for most Americans, it doesn't. And for most black people, it doesn't. The divorce rate is 50%. And we know that women fall for the majority of divorces. Number one. We know that the birth out of wedlock rate is some 70 some odd percent in the black community. Right? So this class divide, the way you speak, the quote unquote advice that you give, right? Like it worked for you. And then you have to understand once again Anton and the entrepreneurship and the business. And so it's like perfectly placed in the Protestant work ethic and the way things quote unquote should be, the Christian nationalist type of view, right? And like Anton fits perfectly in that, although he is a black man. And I think, okay, fine, right? Oh yeah, and Els Active says, CGA coach Greg Adams is a self-acclaimed classist, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to own that, and I've heard him say things that speak to that a few times. And I think if it doesn't, and look, if you do believe that the black community needs a true blue culling, oh yeah, Z used the word. Z, you used the word. Yeah, Z used the word. And you are okay. And by the way, you've heard multiple black people say this. Everyone from the divestors and swirlers all the way to the quote unquote pro blacks. Uh-oh. who have walked right around. They circle around the black community needs a true blue culling, not to let them wither on the vine. Oh no, that ain't good enough. The black community needs a culling. And when they say a culling, they're not saying, oh, it's gonna be like 15%, 20%. No, they're talking about like 80%, 75, 80%. Huh? Listen to the people talk. See, when all of these content creators and all of these, and not even just, I'm not even just talking about internet and social media stuff right now. I'm talking going back to some of our scholars. Uh-oh. When you let them talk, it gets real ugly. It gets real dark. It looked like we sitting in the middle of Planned Parenthood. Oops. Or 1930s Germany. It get real ugly. Saint Cyr, you hear me? And Saint Cyr says, sounding like a bunch of short mustache man's children. I'm saying. Huh? Again, when you let some of these people talk, and it's crazy because these people disagree on everything except the part that says, yeah, you know what? Most of y'all black people are dead weight. Huh? So I agree with you that it from CGA to Jason Black, uh-oh, to Chrissy, oh, and Cynthia G, you let them talk long enough and they get real close. Now, Cynthia G just went all the way there with it, right? But for the others, they get real close to sounding like we somewhere in a Planned Parenthood clinic. Huh? So, yeah. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. And once again, thank you for the super chat, Kunguru. But yeah, the tether thing, look, yeah, no, I'll own it. I'll own it. Right. But yeah, no, I do think that there are immigrants and we're talking about black immigrants and children of black immigrants who do get in the way of the advancement of ADOS FBA. They do have their own tribal classist view of ADOS FBA. And you see it exhibited when they speak about ADOS FBA, and they will regurgitate some of the same rhetoric and talking points of anti-black white racist or anti-black anyone, right? And so I do think it is something that ADOS FBA not only should be mindful of, but be very vigilant against, right? Be very vigilant of these people who share the same hue in skin color, who might be immigrants, children of immigrants, grandchildren of immigrants, and black immigrants once again. And when you let them talk and they sound so, and that's why y'all notice when I even when I'm going in on black women, I make sure to tell y'all it ain't just ADOS FBA. That's why y'all see I don't spare my comments for Haitian American women or Jamaican American women, Caribbean black women, or children of Caribbean black women. Right? Because even if they come from a different environment, once they adopt a particular culture and worldview, I make sure to emphasize that. That's why y'all see I speak about Tanya TKO and Selkish Ray and Amanda Seals. All of these women are black, but their people are from somewhere else. If they're not from somewhere else, don't matter. Jesse Wu and all of them. Y'all see, I've made videos on all of them, right? Huh. So And yeah, and Vince's like African shorty said she ain't date a black man and is and it's like shorty, nobody asked you or was looking for you. Yeah, no, yeah, right. Exactly. And she emphasized that, right? And Chrissy emphasized that about Tasha K too. When Chrissy was going in on Tasha K for the way she spoke to Rose or the way she interviewed Rose. Rose is the young lady from Queens and Kings, the little petite black woman with the burly ass white husband. Um Chrissy emphasized, yo, your man ain't even like ADOS FBA. Your man is African. And for those of you that recall, before Paris married her Nigerian husband or Nigerian descent husband, she kept on like throwing black American men, ADOS FBA men, under the bus and like kind of emphasizing that maybe expanding your options might mean, and she was talking about ADOS FBA women dating Nigerian men or African men, but Nigerian men in specific. And I recall hearing her say that, and I recall thinking to myself, and I think I might have said it on here a few times, and I think a couple of Nigerian brothers are starting to pick up the clue that ADOS women, and quite frankly, I don't even think it's just black ADOS FBA women. I think it's all women. I didn't just say black women. I think they look at Nigerian brothers, but African brothers writ large as licks. Like y'all have this weird concept of manhood and masculinity that they'll be able to get as much money and as much manhood out of y'all for very little, especially if they're cute, right? And like that's where um Toby comes in, right? With the white woman that deleted him. Like it's this, we'll be able, I can get as much money, manhood, access, obligation from this dude because he in Creole we say upat espere, espere, which is like you didn't. In the direct translation is you didn't aspire, but what it really means is you never thought you would get this, right? And I look at the way, especially because black women are being loud about it. ADOS FBA women, like Paris Milan, they're being loud about it. And Paris is not the only one. If I recall, years ago, I don't even know if I could find it now, but years ago, it was another sister that spoke about Nigerian men in this kind of way. There's a few videos speaking of, and I'm saying Nigerian men in specific because that's what the women were saying in specific. So, dear Nigerian brothers, don't think I'm just picking at you or making fun of you or anything like that. I'm saying the women are specifically, they're saying African men writ large, but Nigerian men specifically. Like y'all are some big dumb marks, right? And if she's cute enough and she wiggle her ass, you'll just fall and you'll just start throwing the money at her. And I think a lot of that has to do with, once again, how many Nigerian brothers are actually, they're upwardly mobile, right? They're doing well, getting accepted to Ivy League schools, and they're in corporate America, and they're upwardly mobile. And so when they're in these spaces with successful women and all of that, and women that are upwardly mobile, I think those women see y'all as desperate. I don't know what's going on, what y'all are doing or saying, or what these women are interpreting from what y'all are doing and saying, but they look at y'all and they've said it like easy marks. Huh? So that's something I think, the dear Nigerian brothers, Nigerian community, that's something, Nigerian brothers, y'all gotta, that's a conversation y'all gonna have to have. Maybe I'm reading it wrong and I'm seeing it wrong, but hey, so the women are reading it like that. That's what they're saying. And Paris Milan is an example of that. Yeah, she put out that little disclaimer video some months ago about African men and not really worshiping African men, but that's after years of her doing it. So, all right, and there was an angle that she was coming out about it too. Now y'all know what women mean. What she was saying was, these African men, they know how to be real men. They don't have this kind of ADOS FBA hang up about being providers and protectors. And y'all heard what I heard. They know how to protect, provide, and shut up. And as a matter of fact, Ashley Akuna, who is Nigerian descent, if I recall correctly, she kind of even spoke about like, yeah, y'all will be separated, but he'll still show up at the family gathering, and y'all will still be able to front like y'all are a happy married couple, right? If Demetrius, I don't think Demetrius is here right now, but shout out to the replay gang. If Demetrius hears this on the replay, he'll be able to corroborate that for all of us that remember the grapevine. It was one episode where they were speaking about relationships and intimacy, and and FBA ADOS came up, and Ashley spoke of like, you know, her family don't really care whether she ends up with a ADOS FBA man, and Ashley did say she would be willing to even date a formerly incarcerated brother. I'll say that. But the only thing is like, are you gonna leave her pretty much high and dry? And she was. I don't even think she was being necessarily mean on this or any type of thing. She wasn't necessarily being negative here, but she was trying to emphasize that. And you, by the way, this exists in Haitian culture too. So this is not just a Nigerian thing where they'll be separated, but the spouse will still show up to the family gathering, get a plate, and like chill out, especially if he's asked to by the wife, right? So yeah, that's not just a Nigerian thing. I'm pretty sure there's different cultures, and I've seen that even with ADOS. But I guess you know the negative stereotype. So right. So yeah, that was a long roundabout. We way off the reservation now, but okay. And KMS says, in aggregate, men use words to clarify. Women use words for impact. Good one. I never really thought about it like that. Not consciously anyway. That's why black women have no problem hijacking words and changing their meaning on the fly. Agreed. I wouldn't say it's not. I get what you're saying, black women, but I think that's a woman thing. I think black women do it so egregiously because we don't have. This is the problem when like with the gynocracy. When men aren't at the helm, this behavior gets to go unchecked because other women sanction it and allow for it. So what I'm saying is other non-black women still got to get checked by the women and the men when they try to engage in this. But I don't think that it's not in them, it's that they're not allowed to do it. Where in the black community, because it's a gynocracy, right? Not even a matriarchy, but a gynocracy, the women are able to do it. So they eventually just get worse and worse and worse. Right. So I think it's a woman thing. I just think that black women are able to misbehave and do these things because who gonna check me, boo? Yeah, exactly. I think when black women say that, they right. Who is gonna check them? Like sometimes I know we get mad at these phrases and these terms, but like really listen to what they're saying. I know it's not good for your mental health, but really listen to what when black women say who gonna check me, boo, that's the realest statement ever. Because it's true, like who is? Right? Like life checks them, life puts a foot in their ass, but even that they get to reinterpret it. Right? Huh. This is what I'm saying. That's because they don't get. I had this conversation with my lady some weeks ago, right? And Mr. Shukta uses words mean ish, right? Words mean ish to most women. Everything is left open to interpretation. Me and my lady had this conversation. Hey babe, if you listening, a few weeks ago, there was something she was supposed to do for me, and I don't think she was able to get it done. She was able to get it done like the next day or something like that, but not that day. And like, I don't know if I called her, she called me. I don't remember. And we were like, it got brought up, and like she wanted to give me the explanation before the answer. So I think I asked her like, "Hey, were you able to do this?" And like she ended up trying to give me the explanation, and I paused her, and like on the fly because I never said this before, and I was like, "Wait. You're trying to explain and then give me the answer. Give me the answer and then explain." And then she gave me the answer, which was no. And then she gave the explanation. I'm like, okay, baby, we'll just do it the next day. Okay, whatever, right? And then I asked her because Z is a glutton for punishment. Am I right? Were you about to try to explain it to me and then give me the answer? And she said yes. If y'all want to know, this is why Mr. Z is with Miss Z. No ego, no pride. That doesn't mean she doesn't have it. That doesn't mean we haven't been in arguments, right? But at least in that moment, no ego, no pride. Just yeah, that's yeah, yes, and there you go, right? I'm like I agree with Black Uru so 100. Like yo, sometimes you just gotta press them. Sometimes I know, like for our mental health and our longevity and our lifespan, we be letting stuff slide. And Mr. Z just already told himself, I don't know how long I'm gonna live, so I'm gonna just be pressing them all the time, right? Not all the time, but all the time, right? GC. Oh, that's funny. I never heard that before. That's funny. And GC says Z trying to get us to listen to that ear cancer. Hysterical, not ear cancer. Oh man, that's hysterical. Oh, and Dreddy Bean says just let the universe deal with them. They interpret all they want. You know, yes, I can't do it. I can't do it, GC. I can't. I can't. My channel is a testament to me not being able to do it. Right? It for those okay, so this happened. This got to be like 2+ years ago at this point. 2 years ago. I was on Pastor's channel like 2 years ago, and one of these sisters, me and her had just disagreed because she said she doesn't believe in eugenics, right? So we had just disagreed, and then this white dude popped up on the channel, and eventually he the white bro. So white dude ended up being a white dude, and what were we speaking about? I think we started speaking about race and like slavery, and maybe did reparations come up? We were like in that lane. We were in that type of lane, right? And so I made my argument, and I kind of left it alone. And then the sister started making her argument, and I realized, and when you see somebody slow walking. So Z, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was the best hype man ever. I was antagonistic as hell to him. I was doing the bruh. She's whipping your ass right now. Like you don't see, she's walking you to her argument right now. You don't see what she's doing? Oh, your ass too weak. Oh, you don't have good arguments. I promise you, I was doing that. And shout out to Pastor if he's listening. He might remember this, and any of y'all that were listening at the time might remember this. Right? This was like a late night stream that Pastor was doing, and yeah, no. So I'm saying it. And she's like you can hear her better yet, holding back the laugh, and I'm making him more angry because I'm saying it's like damn, like somebody's like damn, you just got knocked the hell out, right? And I'm doing that. I'm like, bro, she's walking you to her argument, bro. Like I said, I'm being the best hype man humanly possible. And eventually she says, all right, let me just say what I need to say. And she just dismantles him, right? And I'm saying that to say, I'm that guy. I can be that guy, right? And I don't know about letting the universe handle it all the time. I think sometimes you got to tell someone, hey, if you continue on this road, life's going to punch you in the face. And when life punches you in the face, I'm going to be here to tell you, I said this to you. The reason why you do this, there's a couple of reasons. One is because you want other people to see that and think twice. You want other women to see you. This is what my channel is, right? To hear Z say, listen, ladies, listen, black women, this ain't even going to work for you. Forget the other black women you're leading on. If you continue on this road, Yanni, this won't even work for you. You're going to be Vivica A. Fox. Huh? And if I'm still alive, I'm definitely going to say, hey, what happened to 31-year-old Real Talk with Yanni? You know, the one that was pretending like she was perfectly okay with being single. What happened to her? What happened to the Real Talk with Yanni that was chastising the black male civil rights leaders and saying they did everything they did for white vagina? What happened to her? Oh, you 50-something now. Oh, no. Now you want to be in a relationship. Now you're not that person anymore. Huh? So I say all of that to say I don't know about always letting the universe sort them out. Damn, I think I got cut off on my own stream. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah. Right? Treddy Beam says, life punches hurt, boy, do they? We all done got that. Shout out to Toya. We all done had to suffer that ego death. We all look. No one alive. I don't care how rich you are or how white you are. You know that's what matters on planet Earth right now. I don't care how rich you are or how white you are. No one escapes life punches. That's the one thing. Hey, that ego death. That ego death is real like a mug, right? That ego death is real. No, that's the one thing that no one can escape, right? You can mitigate for it to a certain extent, but you cannot escape it. Life punches hurt like a mug. Everybody gets punched in the face by life. Everyone. Right? So yeah. All right. But yeah, I agree with KMS on women hijacking words. I agree with yeah. And the beauty, so I need to start saying this more. How much we're not when I say we, I'm talking about white men and certain like super Christiany brothers that don't want to admit that women have a mind of their own. I think much of what we're witnessing is how much our society struggles with this is what women are because they're no longer quote unquote in bondage. I think the society is struggling to admit that yes, America, yes, West, yes, planet Earth, third rock from the sun, this is women. This is what they look like, sound like, feel like when they're quote unquote free. This is what they look like. It's not all sugar and spice and everything nice. It's not that. Women are real human beings. That means that they're going to exhibit positive behavior, and that also means they're going to exhibit negative behavior. And when you see the negative behavior, could we stop blaming men all the time? Oh yeah, she's single because the men aren't on her level. Could she be single because she's an asshole? Is that possible? Could she be single because she's insufferable? Right? And I'm saying that to what KMS is saying by saying women playing around with words is what they do. That doesn't mean that men don't engage in it. It just means that women engage in it more. And our society is struggling with women's behavior in this 21st century. Now, this is when people could say modern women. Modern women and the way they're acting, speaking, behaving is difficult for your standard white Christian male, white Protestant male, WASP male to come to terms with. Yes, they're showing you their ass because they're not quote unquote in bondage. They don't have to be under a man. They're not shackled. I'm not saying that to be funny or to mock or to insult or to even say that women should be. I'm saying this is one of the consequences of them not being. They're the ones who's telling you marriage is a luxury item. It's them and the white male economist, the uber wealthy people. Okay then. Yes. Shout out to PK Angel. Yes. Women are the ones who said, yeah, if it's up to me, eugenics. Right? Now what? Right? And that's both positive eugenics and negative eugenics. That's the leave the feeble-minded to their own devices without any help. And that's also cull them. It all depends on which side of the spectrum you're on. Either way, eugenics. Huh? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And Black Uru says, that's why I ask these religious patriarchal type dudes, do you think women have free will? Huh? Now let's do this, Black Uru. This is when you make the right leaning men into left leaning men, and you make the left leaning men into right leaning men. Right? And the women too, by the way. The religious conservative Christians will say yes, but haha, but dot dot dot. well, the environment and feminism and this is where Rod comes in and says you got to be held accountable for what you believe in, right? So this is when the most staunch, hardcore, 10 toes down Christian conservative white dude, this is when he starts sounding left. Because now we got to talk about extenuating circumstances and environment and history. This is when he might start doing these men, they're not pulling their pants up, they're not carrying their weight, so the women don't want to marry them. Oh, wait a minute, you're making a leftist arguments here, sir. Huh? Now, when we speak about the upliftment of men, this is when the most left-leaning women or men start sounding conservative. See, when we start talking about men, that's when a whole lot of people start sounding like hypocrites. This is when you start seeing the hypocrisy in people. So I agree with Black Uru, right? Huh? That free will talk, they have free will, but uh-oh. Oh, that's a good ass statement. And Telescope says, leave humans with a sufficient amount of money and stuff, and hypergamy will make it become not enough money and stuff. Thank you for the super chat. I agree with that 100%, Telescope. I agree with that 100%. Huh? And this is where white women aren't told to settle. Why are black women always told to settle? Talk come from. This is why you have Ebony K. Williams, who would rather do a single motherhood by herself. Single mother by choice, right? She would rather be a mother by herself than end up with a man that has something to say about how she raises that child that does not earn as much as her, that is not as famous as her, that doesn't have the status she has, whatever status she has. You're 100% correct, Telescope. Huh? Hypergamy is why Ebony K. Williams is single right now. She refuses to realize she aged out of the hypergamy game on that level. And yeah, she might have to end up with the dude that earns less than her. Huh? So she said, fine, then God, if this is what y'all want from me, fine, I'd rather be single. Okay, throw your little temper tantrum, right? Go get inseminated and go have that baby. And that's exactly what she did. Huh? Huh. And Toya says, not to mention white women aren't out here besmirching white men. Not on that level, not that loud. I agree with you 100. Not on that level and not that loud. Are there like extreme feminists doing it? Yeah. And do they say white men in particular? On the fringes, yes. But for the most part, no. And I agree with you. What you will get from white women is the talk of men, but not white men specifically. Black women make it, no, we talking about black men. Huh? Imagine a white women version of divestors. Huh? Anyone but a white man, right? And can they say negative things about white men? Yes. Will it be necessarily financial? No. But yeah, y'all are too what they would say. Y'all are too harsh. Y'all don't have any type of empathy or sympathy. I don't even know if y'all are human, right? Yeah, white women could pull some of that. So yeah, no, yeah, I see what you're saying, Toya. Yeah. Because there's a consequence to it. We saw that with Tommy Lauren. Tommy Lauren apologized for calling white men out, and she apologized within 2 days? Wasn't it within 48 hours? We watched Ebony K. Williams talk about us greasy for a couple years. And didn't forget apologize, didn't even get nowhere close to retracting her statement. Not at all. Tommy Lauren backtracked in 2 days. Huh? And once again, KMS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. In 2 days. Huh. So yeah, no, there's a consequence, and that's what I'm saying. It's not that other women. I would argue that other women have these proclivities also. It's just that they're not encouraged both internally and externally to behave this way, not in mass, right? Look at how look at how many Asian women marry outside of their race, specifically to white men, and the most you get from them in mass is, "Oh no, I'm not interested in Asian men. They look too much like my brother." For the most part, that's what you get. Yet their interracial marriage rate makes black women's interracial marriage rate look like a joke, but they're not as vitriolic. They're engaging in the behavior far more than black women, and yet they're not as vitriolic because their community would not allow for them to be. Huh? Some of their mothers are encouraging them to marry out to white men, and yet those same mothers would not allow for them to be as vitriolic against Asian men. Huh? White women feel a certain way about white men and Asian women relationships, and yet, by and large, they're not talking about it like that. They're keeping that close to chest because there is a punishment mechanism. Huh? There is a punishment mechanism, a societal punishment mechanism. Same thing with South Asian women. Mindy Kaling been publicly worshiping white men in front of everybody, but she can only go so far. You even see other South Asian women saying, "Hey, she don't represent me." There is a punishment mechanism. Excuse me. There is a punishment mechanism. As Black Uru saying here, there are consequences and repercussions. And Black Uru says Tommy Lauren equals consequences and repercussions. Ebony K. Williams equals who gon' check me, boo. And I would add to that, and there's a consequence to that. I say it all the time. Black women, you got what you wanted. You just hate what the receipt looked like. You wanted not to be under black men. Fine, you're not. Ebony K. Williams, everyone. Huh? You didn't want to be under black men. Fine, you're not. Real talk with Yanni, everyone. Fine, you're not. Chrissy, everyone. Fine, you're not. Leona Worldwide, everyone. Huh? Wow. This is somewhat of my point. And Abe O says, Z, as someone who dated a lot of Asian women, they talk crazy about their man, but within their group, yeah. And that's why I said externally and internally, they're not encouraged to be on camera talking crazy about Asian dudes. Now, are there clips of them doing that? Yes. Is it when black women are on? No. There's clips of Asian women in Australia talking crazy about Asian dudes, Asian women in Canada talking crazy about Asian dudes, obviously Asian women in America. We're talking about East Asian women in America talking crazy about Asian dudes, but is it anywhere near what black women are on? Nope. Right? Huh. But yeah, that to what Black Uru was saying, that who gonna check me, boo? Well, there's a consequence to that. You're right, no one. Dear Ebony K. Williams, you're right, no one. No one's gonna check you. No one can, right? Who gonna check me, boo? No one. Right? Huh. And there you go, Ebony K. Williams, everyone. Single mother by choice, inseminated artificially. Huh? Give me 1 second. Right? Inseminated artificially from what we know. And that's the consequence. And a split gym says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. A split gym says that unhealthy response to toxic environment should be assessed further to only emphasize with negative emotions that are based on peen envy is definitely a disorder. Yeah, right. Inappropriately responding to toxic environment. I keep on saying it. Right. I'll admit that the environment's toxic. We're black. Yes, you're right. Right? Yes, ladies, you're right. And how are you responding to that? Is it in any way to alleviate the pain? No, you don't even, you're not even trying to alleviate the pain, let alone solve the problem. Right? Huh. And Black Guru says young American Indian women in social media appear to be trending into divestiture territory. I think shout out to and somebody's gonna say it because I know I'm gonna get it wrong. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Dr. Thunder has a whole gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yourself. And we're back. Regular streams. Right? Almost lost my damn. I lost my train. Oh, that's what I was gonna bring up. Oh yeah, Dr. Thunder. So Dr. Thunder has a formula to what you're saying. Black Uru. Was it again? Sexually. God damn, Dr. Thunder. Are you listening? he has like a whole formula to this, and it's like pinpoint accurate. It's a deregulated dating market plus hypergamy equals divestment. I want to say that's the. Did I say that right, y'all? I think it's that a deregulated um a deregulated dating market. I want to say he said a deregulated dating market, something like that. Plus hypergamy equals divestment. And I'm saying that to what Black Uru says here. Young American Indian women in social media appear to be trending divestiture territory. Yeah, I think it's inevitable. Right? I think it's inevitable. I think when you're living in the West, when women, especially women with just a bit of access, or they grow up middle class, upper middle class, but either way, I think it's inevitable that you end up in divestiture territory because in their mind, the white men have the access. It's not just the money and the status anymore, right? I think what mitigates against that in the black community is the bad boy image of black men. So that some of the young women that grow up in those environments still have some type of connection to the black community. So like the Tupac image is still playing somewhere there. I don't think that necessarily applies the same way for non-blacks, right? And so Chad and Brad, that's what you aspire for. That's why you have the Mindy Kalings. That she admitted it straight up, right? Mindy Kaling admitted it straight up that yo, like, well, not Mindy Kaling. I'm sorry. The Asian woman that Compassionate has on on his channel, the East Asian woman that straight up said like, yo, I I wasn't really seen in high school, and I'm kind of open to white men. I wonder if it's because I'm trying to like assuage some type of, childhood trauma. Right. And you saw it with men. Well, Mindy Kaling already told you, because the women of color always say this. The men of my own race were, they weren't interested in me when I was younger, and the first person ever comment about my looks and speak positively about how I looked, and the first person that really gave me a chance was a white guy. Black women say this. South Asian women say this. Certain East Asian women say this. Yawn. Somebody tell me, when did white men become this nice? Huh? When did white men become this nice? Oh man. So the first person to ever compliment a darker skinned black woman with a wider nose and kinkier hair, a South Asian woman, a East Asian woman, the first person to compliment all of you was a white guy? White guy in high school, white guy in middle school, white boy, I guess. Or a white man when you were adult? Yeah, that's it. Mr. Z is having a hard time believing that. Difficult time believing that. Right? I never knew white men were so nice. So gave so much compliments. I never knew. Right? Huh. Right? And better you, sorry. Black Uru says, and JD Vance will lead the way. Yeah, that's it. JD Vance, yeah, he has a South Asian wife, Indian wife. That don't mean he's still not a white nationalist, right? That does not mean he's still not a white nationalist. We already seen the Proud Boys with the black wives, right? We already seen that. And y'all give Z 1 second. I know my background is loud. Y'all give Z 1 second. And of course, we're in South Florida. It's gonna be loud for maybe another 10 minutes or so. Yeah, something along those lines, something like that. Of course, it's South Florida. Everyone, it is South Florida, right? Huh. And going back to what a split Jim was saying earlier about the toxic environment should be assessed further. Yeah, no, it is a toxic environment. Look, right now, America is not producing enough children because America is not producing enough families, nuclear families, because America is not producing enough. Well, two things. America is not producing marriageable women. I said it. And America is not producing enough producer men. Huh? America is not producing enough producer men, and it's not producing enough marriageable women. Right? It's that simple. Even the men, y'all remember, let's recall how many white men that have money that were engaging with the drizzle thing. Because these are, let me say this again, because let me say this slow, just in case people act like they don't hear what I'm really saying. White men with money in America, right? We're engaging with the drizzle thing because they don't even want to deal with these women. Huh? They were low key telling you how these women are talking to them like they're walking ATM machines, even though they kind of are. Huh? So yeah, America's not producing enough marriageable women. It's that simple. And survey says 62% of black women are single. Yes, because America's not producing enough marriageable black women. Huh? And Black Uru says not only is JD Vance a white nationalist, his wife is an ardent supporter of white nationalism. She even helped him to start some pro-white outfit at Yale. Look it up. And we already know how a lot of South Asians think about white folks. Right? We already know. Huh? We already know how they thought about white folks before British rulership in India, during British rulership in India, after British rulership, and now and what used to be India, but now is what India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc., etc. Huh? Yeah. But yeah, the peen envy to me is not just a envy of the phallus, but a envy of men's simple presence, their aura, their voice. For any of us that ever seen a woman try to get a baby to stop doing something just by speaking to the baby, and then the man just says, "Hey," and the baby stops. That envy, right? That envy right there, right? So yeah, no, it's being maladaptive to a toxic environment, and that's with me understanding that the environment is toxic, obviously, and that people are going to inappropriately respond. We have just way too many people inappropriately responding. Then inappropriately responding. That's what it is, right? And KMS is, and this is when we were talking about words earlier. And thank you for the super chat once again, a split Jim. And KMS is like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And KMS is manifest equals gimme, gimme, gimme because I'm me. Because I'm me. Shout out to Ed. Ed, you should have never gave us that one because that is so true. Because I'm me. Because I'm me. Right? 1.6 birth rate, everyone. America is at 1.6 women per children birth rate. America of all places. So is this Calhoun experiment mouse utopia? Yes. Is this also insufferable a-hole women? Yes. Right? Entitled brats? Yes. Materialistic, consumerist, entitled brats that can't let go of the Disney fantasy that she could be insufferable a-hole, and somewhere, somehow, the billionaire white dude is still gonna save her, from herself. Could that also be playing a role? Yes. Notice I didn't say anything about black women. This is like women in America, women in the West. Wherever they are, they can be whoever they are. They don't got to change an inch. And the rich white dude, if she got a thing for chocolate, black dude, if she got a thing for Indian dudes or East Asian dudes, whoever. But the rich dude, probably white, is going to parachute through the ceiling or come walking through the door at the restaurant or the coffee shop and save her from herself. Right? Because I'm me. Right? And there's the Sierra prayer, and there is the Rose prayer, not the actual toy Rose, but Rose, Queens of King, right? As I said to Chrissy the other day, the reason why a lot of black women had an issue with Rose exposing the dynamic between her and her white husband is because she destroyed the fantasy of being a single mom of two, being a baby mama of two, fully black children, and yet the white man still finds you, saves you from you, and take care of you financially, and kisses your dirty draws, and y'all go on to have another two children. And Rose destroyed that. She exposed her husband and she exposed herself by saying she paid for everything and she's floating him. That was not supposed to happen. She was supposed to keep the fantasy going, huh? Especially for the insufferable single baby mamas out there seeing black women, huh? So yeah, KMS, because I'm me, right? And Detroit says, by the way, Mr. Let Go was on a Country Wayne, or really was on a Country Wayne skit, which he did few to play a lame ass weak detective. Okay, I gotta find it. I gotta find it. Right. Oh man. Oh yeah. And GC says she effed up the money. Now they trying to walk it back. Yeah, she was trying to walk it back. She said she just said things to hurt him and etc. etc. Okay, yeah, that's it. By the way, let's pause right there. Let's say she's telling the truth. She only said things to hurt him, and those things are not true. Once again, you still showed your ass. Either way, it don't look good because you still showed your ass. You showed the world why so many black men aren't with black women. You showed why that black baby daddy might not be with you. Chrissy, you didn't mention that part. Let's say she did just say those things to hurt him and she didn't really mean none of it and none of those things are accurate. From my understanding, he's been unemployed for 4 months, but before then he was taking care of her financially, etc., etc. Okay, fine. Let's say all of that is true. And the fact that you said all of the things you said out of a moment of anger and you just were trying to hurt him, this speaks to, and from my understanding, she's prepartum or postpartum depression she's going through and all different type of things. Fine. But this also speaks to why you not with that black baby daddy for the first two kids. Huh? Yeah, she could be trying to walk it back. Let's say she's walking it back and everything she's saying now is more accurate. It is true. Fine. You still showed us why you're not with the black baby daddy for the first two kids. Huh? Wow. Huh. So yeah, Detroit, I gotta check that out. Okay, so Country Wayne and Mr. Let Go have a skit. One of rest in peace, Kevin. Um, it don't matter what these people do. One of us, and hopefully it's the most talented of us, is gonna break through anyway and go mainstream. Huh? It's going to break through and go mainstream. It's funny when FD tried to throw that in our faces and say, yeah, Kevin was about to leave y'all Negroes behind. And Negroes wasn't the word he used. As if Kevin was going to leave us behind and kind of backtrack and rescind everything he said before. And he was going to leave y'all behind. Especially if he was still pushing the message. That would be a bad thing because why? Kevin Samuels blowing up, rest in peace. If he would have really went full on mainstream household name, he would have been that would have been a problem because huh? Right? So yeah, Country Wayne doing a skit with Mr. Let Go. Because we watched as Oprah brought in all different type of black feminist weirdos. We watched her bring them in. Ain't nobody say nothing. Huh? We watch other black women make other weirdo black women household names, especially in the black community. We watched them push their narratives with the Color Purple type movies and Waiting to Excel type movies and Four Color Girl type movies and No Scrubs type songs. Huh? We watched them do that for decades. Ain't nothing going on but the Rent type songs. We watched them do that. Huh? So rest in peace. If Kevin would have blew up and bought in other brothers that maintain the message, and the problem would be what now? Oh, I forgot. We talking about the black community. No, black women are supposed to be the ones with the sexist crap under the thin veil of no. I'm just telling the truth about the black community and the dynamics in the black community. I'm not, they're supposed to be the one that's misandrous, and the rest of the world is supposed to be like, yeah, 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 you're right. Black men are a problem. Black men are the problem, right? What's going on, Dr. Thunder? Right, and once again, Detroit, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Kunguru says, I don't think you a coon. Oh no, we read this already. And Kunguru also says you need a dedicated area show for this topic. A dedicated aired show for this topic. I think you're talking about the coon talk and the tether talk. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Let me try to get the materials together, and yeah, we're gonna have to work on that because I'm still supposed to be putting together a stream, uh, um, how Jason Black says it, a broadcast about the Powell memo, right? And I want to tie the Powell memo into neoliberalism, um, starting with Carter, but actually blowing up under Reagan. And I don't know if I really that I might not have to go into too much detail on because um, Dr. Green Gorilla already spoke on neoliberalism, and he did a bang up job. So I ain't gonna be able to do better than him on that. But I do want to speak about the Powell memo, and I think actually having Green Gorilla there, I'm gonna try to get in contact with Green Gorilla because I think we can tie in Dr. Green Gorilla's stream that he did about capitalism, and he was really talking about like the neoliberal brand of capitalism, but capitalism plus feminism and what that brings, right? And shout out to you, Dr. Thunder. I just referenced you a few minutes ago. I was speaking about your formula, and I want to say, tell me if I'm saying it wrong. The deregulated dating market plus hypergamy equals divestment. Is that the formula again? I was just saying it to Black Uru a minute ago, but yeah. So yeah, I definitely want to go through the Powell memo with everyone because I think the Powell memo is one of those things that we don't speak about that affects our everyday life, and I think it helps to. It's in the background and it helps to incentivize this very kind of like materialistic um view from women, right? From women, yeah. But yeah, right. So yeah, no, I agree with you. I do need to do a stream. That'll come after the Paul memo stream. Um, yeah, but I do need to do a stream on as a uh I guess quote unquote tether. I do need to do a stream about that. Um, yeah, as a child of immigrants, because I've spoken on what I think we I should do like what the white folks do and do a whole stream about what it means to be an ally. You know them y'all ever see the interviews or whatever and white folks start talking about what it as an ally, right? Yeah. So yeah, I think it's about that time. Yeah, it's about that time. Right. So on that note, everyone. Oh man, Z, you've been on for God. Z been on. Toya says because you have to pedestalize yourself first. Do I? Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true because whenever you see the white folks, as an ally, Right? It's the funniest thing hearing them say that. As an ally, let me tell you what it's like to be an ally. I try to be the best ally. Oh man. Huh? And Toya says, from my vantage point, face ass. By the way, I love the term face ass. I love that. I don't use it often, right? Like I like never use it actually, but I love face ass. Face ass is hysterical. I've seen Indigo say it a bunch of times in the comments too. I love face. The face ass is hysterical, man. I love hearing people say face ass. I don't use it that often. But I don't know how often, excuse me, I get the ability to use it, but I love the term face ass. Toya says face head. Me too. Yeah, like face ass or head ass. Yeah, no, I like face ass more than head ass, but head ass is funny too. Oh man. Yeah. So on that note, everyone, we will pause right here. It is South Florida in South Florida right now. So yeah, that part. But thank y'all for listening. So to wrap up, um, women hitting the iceberg, um, because it's a mathematical certainty, especially when you quote unquote decenter men. Shout out to Real Talk with Yanni. And you have a very laissez-faire. Shout out to a split gym. A very laissez-faire, nonchalant view of men and relationship and nuclear family and childbearing and child rearing. There is a mathematical certainty that this ain't gonna work for you, right? It is made of iron, sir. I assure you. The Titanic will founder, right? This ship can't sink. I assure you, it can and it will, right? Oh man, I assure you, it can and it will. And I love when he's just going over it. He's like, it will. What was he talking about? Like the water will go from this part to that part to this part to that part, and he's doing the actual math. And what's important is look at the faces of everyone from the captain to everyone. Women do everything, black women in specific do everything not to have that face. But that face at an early enough age could keep them from all of the loneliness and heartbreak later on. Huh? That face of shock and horror. And if we don't get it together, well, for them it was too late. But if we don't get it together, we will hit the iceberg, we will sink. The Titanic will founder. It's a mathematical certainty. That's what women are supposed to be telling younger women. Huh? Fine, you want to let them enjoy their teens. Cool. Fine, you want to let them enjoy undergrad. By 22, 23, you need, hey, it's time to run. Run for your life. Run. Y'all don't want to do it. And the younger women don't want to hear it. The younger women don't want to hear it. The older women don't want to do it. Fine. The Titanic will founder. It is a mathematical certainty. This ship can sink. I assure you, it can and it will. And there you go. So, on that note, everyone, we will truly pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. The Raj Report should be streaming right now, so y'all go check out the Raj Report. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Um, I want Dr. Thunder for that stream also. If it was up to me, I would have all the like the Dr. Thunder, the Raj Report, Dr. T, right? Charles Faulkner Jr., BGS, like the more centrist brothers, independent brothers there too, because when I want to go over the Powell memo and really get a sense, LAR, I really get a sense of what other black men think about this, right? So um, yeah. Okay. On that note, everyone, y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out.